What is wrong with my shit? No one wants to start another man save game. Used up. Oh man, we go get into it. Let me just knock out the podcast, and then I'll take a lot of questions. I think this is a good one. I don't even know what podcast number this is. I've been so busy. Ramadan got me all messed up in the game. Ooh, let's get out of there. Ah, okay, where am I? Jesus Christ, women aren't cars. They can't be used. Imagine playing with another kid that's not you. I think that's what Jay-Z said about Future. I'm not opposed to it though. Definitely not opposed to it. But I understand why a lot of men don't want to do that. I understand. Wait, what are we doing? Hmm. Okay, 174. All right, guys, podcast number 174. This is going to be a good one. And I want everybody to stick around for this one because although I'm streaming live on a few different platforms, this is still a podcast. If you guys want to do the podcast, the link in the bio. But today we're going to talk about why men don't want women with kids. And I think this is a really interesting topic. And sorry I haven't been consistent, guys. It's Ramadan, so I've been fasting and I'm training. I'm still in training camp too, training for a fight. So I'm training while I'm fasting, and then at night, praying, go to the masjid. I'm exhausted. I'm not eating all day. I may break my fast out like maybe an hour early because I'm training, running, working out twice a day. So lack of consistency, but we're still on route to do 200 episodes this year. So that's still a goal of mine. We're still on route to do that. But let's get into today's topic. We're not going to play the music today. We're just going to get right into it because I do want to take a lot of questions. So this is an interesting topic, and I'm not completely opposed to talking to women with kids, but I see that a lot of men are. Now, there's been times where I've talked to women with kids and haven't had the best experience, and there's been times where I have, and there's a lot of things that men don't like, and I think for the most part, women get upset at it. But why do women get upset at it? Because they don't understand. Women think that, oh, because I have a kid, if he wants to accept me, he has to accept my kid too. No, he doesn't. And that's the thing, that it's almost like a sense of entitlement, like, oh, well, I just expect if he's going to accept me, he's going to accept my kid. Now, some men will, some men don't mind, but there's a lot of issues that come with it. And I don't think a lot of women understand that. And let's talk about it. First things first, you're taking on a child that's not yours, right? We know in the animal kingdom, and this is crazy because I didn't know this until like the other day. I had read it, that when a lion takes on a woman and takes on like a starts a new family, they will kill those other cubs. Yes, they will unalive them for the people on TikTok, which is crazy, absolutely crazy, right? Now, obviously, we're not trying to make an analogy for what men should do, but there's this distinction that men won't probably love that woman's kid as if it's their own. And I know a lot of people who had stepdads and they their siblings have the same mother and they grew up in the same household, and that stepdad treated his kids way better than he treated the other kids. You know, that's the first thing. And I think just in general, um, men are not so happy about taking care of a kid that's not theirs. Like, let's think about it like this. Growing up, drop a I in the chat if you can relate. Drop a hell no if you can't relate, right? No kid grew up saying, I can't wait to grow up and be a stepdad and take care of whole mother take care of somebody else's kids. I was about to curse, right? Like, no man has ever said that. No man has ever said, I can't wait to grow up and take care of a whole nother man kids that's not mine, that didn't come from my testicles. No guy ever says that. And you know, I don't think women think about that, and it's not something that's necessarily so desirable. Um, like I said, I'm not completely opposed to it, but you have to understand when a woman, also when a man is taking on somebody else's kids, he's taking on responsibilities. In society, our roles haven't changed. Only people whose roles have changed are women. It's only been women liberation, sexual liberation, all of that stuff. Nobody's roles have changed in society but women. So if I take on you and I take on your kid, I have to acknowledge now that I have to not only take care of you, I have to take care of that kid too. Most people, most men have, you have to, even if you say, well, you're not going to pay most of the bills, even if you believe in 50-50, which I don't believe in. I tell you guys all the time, don't do 50-50, right? You still have to protect them. You still have to protect that kid. You still have to protect that woman. If you take it, and this is the controversy, right? I seen a video. It was on I forgot. I think I watched it on YouTube. And a woman, she went on a date with a guy, and on this date, she said that oh, let's just stop by McDonald's right quick before we go on our actual date. I want to get food for my kid and then bring it back home to him, and then we can go about our business. So then the guy said, okay, cool. So they went to McDonald's, and she ordered the food, and then she got upset that he didn't pay for the food, which I thought was a little crazy and a tad bit inappropriate because you didn't even go on the date yet. This man doesn't know you as yet. You got guy hasn't even slept with you yet, but you expect him to already pay for your child. Now, I'm not saying that he couldn't have, but the point is you run into little issues like that. And then some women, not all, some women have a sense of entitlement that, oh, automatically you have to accept my child. Can I get the chance to know you first? I just thought that things like that, and women expect things like that. Oh, you're just being a man. You're just doing what you have to know. A man's not entitled to take care of you and your kids right away. He's not. And then another thing you have to understand is the difference between dating a woman that has kids and a woman that doesn't. Women will always choose their kids first. Always. And rightfully so. I get it. But and there's a lot of times where, okay, well, I want you and I want to be with you and I want to have your time and I want your undivided time, but oh, I can't. I have to go to my kid first. I have to do this with my kid first. Okay, rightfully so. I understand and I can respect that. But here's the other side to it. Now, I remember one time, this was a few years back, and I was talking to this one girl, and she had a kid. And she said, I said, well, because I had previously talked, I don't know. I just talked to a lot of women with kids, right? They just seem to gravitate towards me. I don't know. I just got stepdad written on my forehead. I don't know why. But previously I had a bad experience where like it was a lot of times we wanted to hang out and I was willing to even take her out. And I was like, hey, why don't we just like take out you and the kid? And she was like, no, I don't want to. He has to be up in the morning. I don't want to do that. Women will always choose their kids first. So after that, I talked to another woman with a kid, and she was basically saying that and I asked her, I was like, well, most of the time, and we were having a conversation, and I brought up the fact that you're gonna choose your child most of the time more than anybody else. And I understood it. And I was explaining my issue with talking to women with kids. Not that I had a complete issue. Um, but she had this concept. She said that, well, you know, I wouldn't choose my child always first. And that was the first time I heard that. And that was so profound. I'm like, what do you mean? You have young children you have to take care of? She's like, no, of course. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to nurture them always. But if I have a husband, right? She basically said, and long story short, that that man now has dominion over me and my kids. Most women would never say that. And what does dominion mean? Dominion means I get to discipline that child as if he's my own. Um, I get to tell that child what to do. I get to run this household as the man that I am, as if he were mine. Most women won't do that. And that is another issue that men have with dating women with kids, because most women won't give that man dominion over that family. So he can't call the shots like he would as if it was his. He can't tell that kid what to do. He can't discipline that kid. A lot of women have a hard time with that, and they don't understand. This is another reason I added to the you know the list of reasons why men don't like women with kids. But back to what she said. She said that at the end of the day, my kid one day is going to leave. He's going to go live a life of his own. And who's going to be there with me? My husband. My husband's going to take care of me when I can't wipe my ass, when I can't take care of myself. My husband's going to be there. Eventually, my child's going to go off and live a life of his own. So I'm going to give dominion to my man. My man is taking responsibility. And it was the first time I heard that. And she was Hispanic. I feel like a lot of Hispanic women, I usually only date Black or Hispanic women, but I see a difference between how families are ran between the two. Not all. I feel like only American Black women. I feel like when I date women that are from the Caribbean, or women that, like, if I dated somebody that was outside the country, their mindset is a little different. But and it was a different mindset that I heard, and I've never heard it like that. And ever since I heard that, it gave me the idea that maybe there's potential. So I've never been 100% opposed to dating women with kids, but you have to see where their mindset is at. Now, back to the other list of issues, right? Um, you have to share her. You have to share that woman. And if a guy says, "Well, I have to share you, so why shouldn't I be able to talk to other women or have a second wife or have a second girlfriend and you be okay with it?" Of course, women gonna be like, "Oh no, that's different. I'm not sharing my body." No, but I'm sharing you. I can't have 100% of your time. What you have to understand is somebody that doesn't have a kid, I can have you whenever. Babe, where you at? You at work? I'm gonna come pick you up. Oh, babe, let's go to the movies. Babe, I want you to spend the night. Let's go to the movie. Let's go on a trip. I want to book a trip. Let's go here. Let's do that. I can have access to her more readily than I can have access to somebody with children. And that's what a lot of women don't understand. So automatically, if you get a man, and this is crazy part to me, lately, ever since, like, I've been doing certain topics, I've been getting a lot of women clients who come to me and try to book consultations. And and they say, like, they have men that are willing to do this and play these positions, and they're turning them down because they're not happy. Like, at one point, if you have somebody that's willing to create a family with you and take care of you, you say, well, I don't need that because I'm not happy. He's boring. We don't go on dates. You don't have the luxury of saying that. It's crazy to me. It's like what? Like, I've literally had like four different women sit there and say that to me. And it's like, well, like, statistically, children do a lot better growing up in a two-parent household, right? It just in general, there's this balance of masculinity and femininity, right? Because women are more nurturing. Men implement discipline and give structure to things. And they'll be like, well, my happiness this and my happiness that. And it's like, all right, cool. I understand happiness to a degree, I guess maybe is a concern. But when you have somebody that's willing to take care of you and your child that's not his, willing to bring you in their home, willing to, you only have to pay your bills. You don't have to pay rent. And you say, well, my happiness is more important. I'm more deserving of this. I think that some people may have their priorities in the wrong place. And another thing is the cost of living is very expensive. People that thought they had a good retirement plan are still working in their 50s and 60s and 70s. Do you have a retirement plan where you can take care of yourself? Do you have over $500,000 to $1 million in your retirement? I know about this. My dad retired almost a decade ago. He's good. He's a few $1 million in retirement and still makes money, still makes investment, has a monthly income. Never has to work again. Most women don't have that. But they don't think about this. You get like caught up in this idea that, oh, we have liberation, we can do whatever, but it's not. It's not true. And then women, well, it's the patriarchy. Men make more. That's not true. I think since 1956 or 1966, it's been illegal to pay men and women different in the workforce. And the only reason it is because men are willing to take on more jobs that pay more. They're willing to take on like dirty and gritty jobs that usually pay more. Men and women find different interests in things that when it comes to work. I don't buy the whole patriarchy, and I don't buy it. I don't. But I don't think women think about that when it comes to a family, and everybody chooses happiness over just like bringing structure. At some point, it's like, all right, when you start a family, it's no longer about you. You have children, you have a husband, you have maybe multiple children. For you to say, I'm just going to walk away, I think personally, and people could have a different opinion. I think personally, it's a bit of a selfish decision. I do, 100%. Now, I'm not saying your happiness isn't important. I'm not saying somebody is treating you like trash. You have to sit there and tolerate it. What I'm saying is, I have women coming to me saying that they don't want to start a family with in particular guy, not because he's cheating, not because he's talking bad to them, not because he's not willing to take care of them. These men are willing to take care of them and their children, but he's not fun, or he doesn't. He said he only wants to go on one trip a year. He can only afford to go on 2 trips a year. I want to go on multiple trips. He doesn't take me on dates every Friday. We go out every other week. Literally have people telling me this. It's not crazy situations. And I think that some people's expectations are a bit too high, because it's like, and my thing is, if people never had a certain thing, it's like, where do you get off wanting that? It's like, I want a man that's making this much and does all these things and is super romantic, but you never had that. Your child's father never did that. Your parents never did that. So my thing is, where do you get off wanting that? And that's one of the main reasons. Men, they have to share you. And a woman that has kids is not readily available like a woman that doesn't have kids. And one of the other reasons, and sometimes I know I dealt with this once, and I never really dealt with it again. One time I talked to a woman, and I was young. I was like early 20s. I talked to this girl briefly. It was like maybe 4 months. She was fire. She was so fire. But she had a kid, and the kid was a little bad. He was a little badass kid. And he was just really disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And I would tell the kid, hey, don't jump on the stairs like that. You might hurt yourself. He'd be like, shut up. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I yoked him up. I grabbed him by his shoulder. I was like, listen, I'm trying to help you, little motherfucker. And he told his mom, and we got into a conversation about it. And she was willing to forgive me. She was just like, please don't talk to him that way. Don't do that, this and that and the third. And not because she didn't think that he needed discipline, but we would run into issues with his dad. So that's another thing. Now you have to share this person also, because if you're trying to get into a relationship and you want to give structure to your family, be like, hey, I want to take everybody to Disneyland, right? Let's take everybody to Disneyland, pack everybody up. We're going to get going. All right, cool. Father says, I don't want him to go. Whether he's being petty, whether he doesn't trust me, whatever the case may be, it's still another concern. And especially if you have dual custody, right? I can understand in a situation where I would say is ideal, where the father's not involved. He doesn't necessarily want to be involved. I can have dominion over that family. I can take care of that kid like it's my own, right? Because that kid can grow to appreciate me and seeing all the sacrifices I made and call me dad and treat me as if I'm his father. It's a little different. But now I have to share you with this and this guy. You always have to communicate with that guy. If you have a healthy relationship with the kid's father, he's calling you saying, oh, well, I don't, hey, where's him? Where's Timmy at? This happened. He's calling you 2 a.m. There's an emergency. Oh, can you come pick him up? I gotta go here. You know, and I don't really have a problem with it. I never did have a problem with it, but I have a lot of clients who say, well, I talk to this girl. She's always on the phone with the kid's father. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I know one girl who was married, and it's the only situation like that, but she was married and she would spend weekends at the kids, at the dad's, at her ex-husband's house. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But I had a long time ago wrote that off as something serious. Um, but a lot of people wouldn't be a fan of that. A lot of guys would be highly uncomfortable with that. And like these, it's just some of the reasons why women don't understand, like why men don't want women with kids. And it's not everybody. Like I said, I'm not closed off to it. I think that if the situation lines up right, if I can have dominion and take care of my family efficiently the way that I want, um, and we can have peace and understanding, then cool. And there are some benefits because women with kids already know how to take care of kids. I think women with kids sometimes it's like it's like a yin yang. There's good and bad of it, right? They already know how to take care of kids. So if you have another kid, they'll know how to take care of that kid. I think that what I've seen, and this is my anecdotal experience, I think that women are a lot more grateful for kids, for guys who take on them and their kid and then have another kid and start a family, that they're a lot more appreciative of the help that they receive, right? I've seen that, and I've also seen where women, they have a hard time with it. Like they're like, "Oh, I'm not used to somebody telling me what to do. I'm used to paying my own bills." All right, but you have the help now. And I think the one or two times where I did that situation and I walked away from it, they always came back because they were receiving a lot of help. And then when you're not receiving that help, you realize when it's gone how much easier life was with that person. So I think that there's a lot of pros and cons to it. And and I don't think, like, and the only reason I'm saying this is a topic that women don't understand, that because just just personally, with the small group of women that I've spoken to personally that reach out for advice, they ask and they say things like, "Oh well, I want this, I want that." But you got to understand that you're kind of limited. If you talk sexual market value, right? Like if she's like, I always remember, see, like growing up, like, well, I grew up in the hood until I was 12. Then I moved to the suburbs. It was like, oh, you ain't got no kids. Oh, she look good. You're like, you ever guys ever talk to their guys and like, she ain't got no kids. She bad. She fire. Her hair real. You know what I'm saying? She got a good job. She's smart. She in school. It's like those are a list of things that, oh, she perfect. Nah, this is too good to be true. They'd be like, yo, she fire. She got her own car, own place, cool. She don't really be begging me for nothing. Like I pay for all the dates, but she got two kids. They'd be like, ah, damn, that's a tough one. And when you look at it like that, there are a list of things that adds to a woman value when dating. It's like when you go to the marketplace, it's like a brand new car is obviously a lot more valued and a lot more, desired than a used car. Um, and that's just obvious things. But I just thought that I'd talk about this because I know that the women audience is starting to increase. And I don't think, although there are some, and people got to understand, your experience is not everyone else's experience. You may be privy to this information, you may be privy to this knowledge, but not everyone is, right? Not everyone is. And and I think that even just looking at videos and women talking, it's like, you got to understand, I'm a guy. I'm a man. Women, you're not men. Most women don't date other women, right? So, as a man, I'm telling you what men want. And with that being said, I would like everybody to send up their request if you're on live. And I want to hear why men don't like women with kids. And I would like to hear what women think about it. So, if you have an opinion, hit the request button. We're going to end off this live and we're going to take some questions. This should be an interesting one. By the way, guys, Discord link in the bio. I'm also live on Discord too. All right, so guys, start sending up your requests. Let's hear what people got to say, guys, and let's keep the conversation respectful. How you doing? What's your name? Where you from?
Hi, my name is Money, but you can call me Miss Pris.
Miss Pris. Okay, Miss Money, Miss Pris. Where you from?
I'm currently in Florida.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. So, what do you have to say on the topic?
I tend to have a not so popular opinion. Well, first, I would say please don't compare mothers to vehicles. The value does not depreciate; it actually goes up.
Okay, first of all,
And
hold on, time on. First of all,
sure,
first and foremost, don't tell me what to do. Right? This is my life. Okay, that's first and foremost. Second, I'm a man. Right? Do you? What question before I get into? Do you date women?
do I date women?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's a yes or no
yeah,
answer.
I've had an open relationship. Yes.
Okay. My point is, I'm talking for men that don't want to date women with kids. So when I talk about sexual market value, meaning how men value women, yes, I know women are not cars, right? But I'm telling you a checklist how men see women. When you have kids and you're not as readily available. I explained that. And that's how men are seeing kids. So when I say, well, and I give an analogy of a car, you can compare it. It's an analogy. I'm not saying that, oh, women are cars. She's definitely a Ford Explorer 2003. No, I'm not saying that. It's an analogy. It's a comparing so you can wrap your head around how men are viewing women. I'm not saying women are cars. And you can say what you were going to say.
Okay. So I believe that the value of a woman increases when she has a child. And the reasonings will be one, to bring a child into this world, first is close to death. Childbirth is 11 decibels of pain. You experience 12 when you're dying.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that a woman can bring a child into this world and still make it on the other side is astonishing enough. But secondly, her ability to not only balance her life, but then to balance that child's life and take care of that child, also teaching that child what nepotism is, that becomes a value for generational wealth. Whether or not other people are seeing it or valuing it that way, that's what it could be.
Okay. Um, I'm not saying you're wrong about the things you said what women have to go through. That's cool. But tell me, why should a man care about that? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you went through that, but that's not what men value. I understand you giving birth, giving labor is very hard. And that's something that a child should respect from his mom, right? I grew up Muslim. So, I've been taught that you can never repay your parent or especially your mother, right, for the birth that she gave to you. And the gates of heaven is at your mother's feet, right? So yeah, I value my mom and I understand that what she went through is very crucial, but I don't expect the next man who would be trying to date my mom give two shits about anything you just said, especially
Well,
when
if he
trying
wants to
to
have a
date her.
child,
Say that again.
if he wants to have a child, that would be something that he would want to care about. The fact that she's able and willing and can actually do it.
Okay,
Because
cool.
there's women that'll be like, yeah, we'll do it. And then when it comes down to it, it's all talk and it's all gas. And she's like, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. But listen,
Secondly,
listen, listen. Look, you're missing the point.
sure.
That's for his child. Now tell me why I should give a hell about somebody else's child. Yeah, you went through that, and that's cool. We acknowledge that already. But that's not mine.
Because I already stated the point of nepotism.
Okay,
See, when you pour into a child and teach that child, and that child is learning from you, respecting you, and you guys build an actual bond that's healthy, and you're not disrespectful to that child, that will become a tier of stability under your belt, regardless of who that child belongs to biologically. Because honestly speaking, for our community, we come from the village mindset.
ma'am,
Everybody
ma'am.
wasn't
All right, all right,
raised
ma'am.
that
You're
strong.
missing the point.
They had that.
All right, listen. But what I'm asking you is, why should the next man you just talked about describe giving birth, correct?
I'm
And
telling
all the
you.
things that goes into it. But you're still not telling me a man doesn't give a fuck about nepotism. He doesn't care about that. I'm telling you what a man values. If a man values certain things, right? Let's say if I value A, B, and C, and only A, B, and C, and we're talking about A through Z, we're talking about Z, Y, W. I only care about the first three. A man does not care about that. I am a man. I've been dating for a
So
long
you don't
time.
care about establishing generational wealth for yourself and your
All right.
lineage?
That does not correlate. Money management and wealth has nothing to do with you giving birth to another man's child. And if anything, if I want to build wealth, I would want to do it with my own family.
You're very passionate about this.
I'm not very passionate. I'm trying to speak for you to understand because it's I think you're having a hard time understanding what I'm trying to say here.
I think if you were to explain it in a way that doesn't sound like you are about to have an aneurysm, I might be able to understand it better. Yeah, please get me off. Thank you.
Yeah. See, I don't you see, guys, I don't even I felt like I was making perfect sense. Um I was using perfect logic. Um yeah. Let's get let's get on to the next person. Oh my god, it's wild to me. All right. How you doing, man? Where you from?
Hi,
How you doing? Where you from? What's your name? Where you from?
my name is Sandra. I'm from Zimbabwe.
Okay, Zimbabwe in a house. How is it out there? What's the state of Zimbabwe?
So it's good. We have our problems, but we're pulling through.
Okay, so what do you have to say about the topic?
Is it about single mothers?
Well, yeah. What do you think about it?
um. Okay, can you ask me a question? Actually, I just came in here and I didn't actually like grasp the whole concept
All right.
of
Well, you
the
figure
topic.
out what's going on, and then you come back. Okay.
Okay, sure.
What's going on, King? I can't say your username, but what's going on with you?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
What's your name? Where you from?
I'm calling you. I'm called Nelson. I'm from Uganda.
Okay, you a lot of Africans in the house tonight. Okay, I see you. My African brothers and
Oh,
sisters.
yes.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, and I do agree with you with what you're saying.
Okay, and
I don't see the point.
my question to
I
you
don't
is
see the point of.
my question to you is why don't men, or you can even reference yourself, why don't men want women kids?
That's a lot of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and if you think about it, the child is not yours, or the children are not yours. So it's pointless to. Well, it's not entirely pointless to invest in a child or children that are not yours,
Mm-hmm.
but it's way much better if you pour into your own cup, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I
Than
understand.
pour into another man's cup,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I didn't understand what the lady was saying before. I didn't think she actually grasped what you're saying
Mm-hmm.
because she entirely got it extremely wrong. It's to the benefit of the woman who has a child if a man comes up and wants to carry her luggage, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But to you as a man, it's well, in the big, if you look at it in the bigger picture, you're helping the whole community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because her kids will be a problem to the community if they don't have a father figure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking at you yourself, the individual, it's best you get a lady who doesn't have that luggage.
Mm-hmm.
To your interest as a man. Yeah, so
and I think you're right about that. I think that was the point she missed, and I think she got a little discouraged by my by my lack of patience for her being unable to grasp the topic, because I don't know, she said I was really passionate, but it was just like, maybe I should have said that it's not to a man's benefit to take care of you and someone else kid, and for you to not understand that. I guess that's what that wasn't clicking for her. Maybe that was what it was. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and what you're saying does make a lot of sense. Just hold on a second. Let's see. Yummy Baby 43, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where you from? What's your name? Where you from?
Chicago, Illinois. Yummy.
Okay, Chicago in the house. What's going on? What you got to say on the topic?
Well, my thing is this. When everybody has a choice of what their preference is, and it's a choice. So it's not like it's a bad thing that some men don't want a woman with kids. That's their choice. But it's not a bad thing to say, because there are a lot of women who are taking care of their kids and not demanding the same thing from a lot of men. And I think that a lot of people are having a bad experience. And every woman is not the same. Every man is not the same, because it's for a woman to say every man with a child is not worth it or useless or the same effects. We can't judge each other. It's like, if that's your choice not to be with a woman with kids, is just respect it and move on without having excuses behind it.
What do you mean excuses?
Basically, you saying like, oh, some men don't want women with kids because they can't really control the kids, or the kids are hard-headed. But to me, that's like judging, because it's a lot of women out here. I'm a woman and I have kids, and if I deal with somebody, I'm not going to put certain responsibilities on him that he doesn't want to have. Every man has a choice of what he wants to deal with. It's a choice. It's not a curse.
Yeah, but that's that's the point. But ma'am, that's the point. That's the point of me saying it. Why men don't want to date kids? You're saying it as if like, well, he could do it. Just stop making excuse. No, but that's the whole point of giving you a list of reasons as to why men don't want to date kids, right? Yeah, you make the choice, but these are the reasons. I'm not making excuses. I'm the only person I think so far in this chat that said they were open to it, right? But when I said contingent on certain things, but I think you're missing the fact what men value, right? You're saying these things as if, well, oh, a man with kids, dating a woman with kids is a curse. Well, it's not a curse for a man, especially if he's not going to deal with it. It maybe could be a curse for the woman if you want to use that term, but I don't think it's necessarily, that a man is making excuses. It's what a man's willing to tolerate and what he's not. And I think that's exactly the point.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but I think a lot of people coming from personal opinions. And a lot of times we got to take feelings out of a situation, because somebody's personal opinion of why they don't want to date a woman with kids, that's their choice still. It's not always a bad thing. That's just like saying, if women thought like that and men thought like that, where's the common ground? Because the fact is, there's a lot of men who are single fathers and not with their mothers, and there are a lot of women who raise their kids. But if two people can't understand each other, like everybody, still it's a choice.
Okay.
I see where it's not a bad part on both sides. I'll date a man with kids, no problem.
Yeah, but the part that you're missing is it's less beneficial to a man, right, to date a woman with kids.
What is it? If the woman, you standing like a woman is going to entitle a man to pay her bills or rent, or
of course
the kid is going to be disrespectful, and that's not true. A lot of women don't depend on a man to take care of their kids, and we don't put it off on another man to do it either. Because it's a lot of single women raising great kids without the man and not putting the responsibility on another man. And you got stepdads who step up for absent fathers.
Okay. Can I
Yeah, say what you got to say, and then I'll say something. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Let me take give this lady an example, right? If you went to a car shop and you have a chance of buying a car with 0 mileage and another car with mileage, why would you take a car that has mileage? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. The problem with ladies, they don't think logically. It's all about emotions. And men, we think logically. It doesn't make sense. Anywhere in the world, you go anywhere. I'm calling in from Africa. I'm Ugandan. I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. She will say, oh, it's by choice. Yes, you can choose to go that route, date a woman who has a child. You will do that and you will know the impacts that it will have on your life as a man. Because they are there. If the woman chooses to divorce you, the child, honestly, is not your blood. The connection is really gone. It's really the connection between the man and the child is based on the relationship with the woman entirely, because the child is actually not your seed.
Well, we are not cars. Like the analogy that y'all using, ain't no man that says that he want a woman without kids. A man that has kids has been with somebody too. So he has mileage. So if we sit up there and say women are cars as an analogy and men are cars, everybody is used. There is no one that's a virgin sitting up there trying to be with another person that's been with somebody.
But ma'am,
So
I think
everybody-
listen,
I don't care, but I'm
listen.
trying to say,
No,
listen,
hold on.
Wait, can I
Hold on. I
we
think.
are not cars.
All right. Listen. Wait. Stop. Don't. Let's keep it respectful. Right. What I'm trying to tell you is you're missing the point. It's not about being a car. We can make the analogy with a bag of chips. If I had a bag of chips and I saw one open, I'm not going to go take the open bag of chips that's been folded up and creased it and saved till later. I'll take a fresh bag of chips. It's not about having cars. You're missing the fact that what men want. You have men on a panel telling you what men want. Right? I'm pretty sure you don't date women how men date women. And this is common knowledge. Yes, you'll have some women that can date that'll raise a child successfully, but statistically, we're talking about, children do better with 2-family homes. And what he's trying to tell you is it's less beneficial to the man. And that's what you're not understanding. It's not about comparing you to a car. We're using an analogy. I can give you a plethora of objects and things to make the analogy with. But the point is why men don't want to date women with kids. I'm not saying that I'm cut off to it. What I'm telling you is, and what men are trying to tell you is, it is less beneficial. Yes, there are some benefits. But
let me tell you, for us in Africa, it's even worse. I tell you, it's worse if you take your own children that are not yours, in the sense that we have different tribes. The previous guy could be maybe of a different tribe, okay? And we have different languages. Now, that child that you're taking on would never be anywhere close to your tribe. Even we have different facial appearances that look different, okay? So if I take on another child, okay, it is a big responsibility on my end. It is something I would try as much as possible to avoid as a man, okay? So when someone says it's okay, it's not. It's actually not. You take it on and it's a burden and it's a big responsibility on your end as a man. Okay, it's a cross actually. It's a cross. If you choose to carry it, well and good. But you have the best choice for you is to date a woman who has no child. Point blank.
With that being said,
as a man.
But with that being said, that's say the same for a woman. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but that's your personal opinion because your feelings are in it at the same time.
Opinion.
I'm not finished talking.
let her finish. Let her finish. Wait, hold on.
It is your personal opinion. No, it's not my personal opinion.
All right, hold on. Just let her finish, and when she's done, Obviously, guys, let's try not to monologue, but when she's done, then respond. But finish what you were saying, man.
But you sitting up saying like less value, and that's what men don't want. But what we need to understand is there are a lot of women who are single and who are not with the father, and there are a lot of men who are single and not with the mother. So it's like a lot of people say, oh, women, women, women. We have value. We are queens. We work. We take care of our kids. We are strong. We are doing what we have to do. That don't make us less of a value, and it's not.
Okay.
And it doesn't put pressure on it, because at the same time, I respect the man that say, hey, I can't date you because you got kids.
Okay.
I'm not gonna judge him because he don't want that. But it's a lot of great stepdads out here who would love to be with a woman that got kids. So y'all not speaking for every man. Y'all just speaking for the ones who don't like women with kids. And I respect that, because we all have a choice.
Okay, look, I hear what you're saying, right? There are some, but the assumption, and I'm not sure if you can quantify that number. I'm not sure if there's any data on it because it's not something that I looked up. But
Right.
what I'm saying is the assumption, right? And I think that every man that I've seen in this chat, or anybody that's came up on the topic, more than likely would like to have somebody that does not have kids. And the thing that you're missing is you're saying that we can still be great mothers. You're trying to basically say that somebody's less of a woman. Yeah, I'm not saying that nobody's less of a woman, and I'm not saying that you can't do your own. What I'm saying is that it is less valued by other men. That's first and foremost. And then you talk about how, women have their own houses, they have their own cars, they do their own shit. But is that what men really value, right? Like, you can have your own car, you can have your own money, but the difference between a man that's taking care of a family, single parent dad, or a mother that's taking care of a family, when that man comes into your life, he has to take on responsibilities, even if it's not financially. He is deemed to at least to try to protect you, to be a provider, something. He can't be lacking in everything. He has to excel somewhere, right? When a woman comes onto a single parent dad, more than likely, he's still going to be taking care of things, right? He's not coming in saying, well, oh, hey, you're coming on now. I need you to start taking care of some bills. Very rarely will you ever see that. And that's what I'm telling you. It's more beneficial for a woman to have a man. And then, women that have their own stuff, it means nothing. You can have your own stuff. And if you're real about it, you'll say, you ain't about to buy a man a house. You're not to buy a man a car. You're not to buy about what's the most you going? Most women never bought men more than a fucking pair of sneakers. So your money, let me finish. The money and the stuff that you have is beneficial to you, and you as an individual. You saying you have all these accomplishments and all these things that really means nothing to men, because why? That's not what men value. And I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that there are stepdads that won't do it. I've been in that position. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, right? But what I'm telling you is, it's not that we're trying to downgrade and downplay women with kids. We want to bring light to the situation, because it's not only about just men not wanting you. There are a strong, and I think most men who are single, they would prefer somebody who's single. But what you have to understand is most men don't want it. And if you do have a man, this was my purpose and my intent behind doing this live. If you do have a man that's willing to come and be a stepdad, don't reject him over things like, well, he doesn't meet my checklist. You have to understand that if we're making these analogies, the market value is not there. So just like you have standards, men have standards too. So if one of their standards is no kids, then you have to understand that you have to check things off your list, and it's about compromise at that point. And you just can't have your way as if you didn't have those responsibilities. And I think that's the point that you're missing, is what a man actually wants. Because even in a stepdad, I know I constantly, guys console me, guys pay to talk to me, and I hear a lot of guys who have a problem with the kid. And even if a woman says, okay, you can have dominion, there's things where you run into problem with the other kid's dad. Like, oh, well, I want to take you guys out on vacation, but the dad doesn't want him to be around me, or doesn't want the daughter to be around me because he doesn't trust me, and rightfully so. But I think these are the complications that you're missing. Yeah, there is, but I still think that's fewer than many who are willing to take on that role so readily, because it benefits you more than it does a man. And I think that's the part that you're not acknowledging, whether a guy wants to take that role on or not.
I don't think. Go ahead.
Good to know. No, say what you were
Okay.
saying because we were having a conversation, and
I'm
there's
sorry.
one person before you. You're gonna get your chance to speak. I promise. But continue what
I'm
you're saying,
sorry.
ma'am. Missy. Yummy. Oh, my bad.
I don't like. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, we don't profit more because what you say is that when a woman has a child, or like you said, like when a man got a child, and then a woman come along, it's like this. To me, I was raised like mother and father. They work together. So you can get a business together, you can help them together, you can grow together financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. What you talking about? It's a difference between a little boy and a grown man's difference between a little girl and a grown woman. And the reason why I say that is because real people come into each other's life to add value. Women come to a man's life to add value, just like a man do for a woman, and it could be the same. There's a lot of powerful women out here that stand behind a man and they creating generational wealth. So I disagree. It's a lot of women out here that's willing to add to it as well.
Do you know what percentage of women fall into the 1% that are creating generational wealth?
I don't even think that it's the stats on that yet to be
There
concluded.
are.
I've looked at them and
There are,
it's not,
and it's
you know, it ain't accurate.
of the 1%. Yeah, a census can never be 100% accurate. It's a census because you're
Right.
not going to be able to speak to everybody, but we can have an approximation, right? According to the IRS, less than 1% of family homes make $500,000, and of that 1% that was counted, I think it's less of the 1% of the counted that's like less than 2% that are coming from women. And statistically, women make less money on average than men. Statistically, even if you can say, well, yeah, a lot more lately, women have been making more money. But the point is, even if you say individually, you're making generational wealth on your own. When women start to make more money, their options go down for the obvious reasons. You're not going to, most women in general want to date a man that's making at least as much as they're making or more, right? So if, let's say, if you're somebody who's creating generational wealth and you start making a lot of money and you're making, let's say, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, your standards are going to be high at a very minimum. But you probably want a man that's making the same amount or less. But shit, somebody, if I'm making $1 million a year, fuck, I'm looking at you for. I want somebody that has no kids, and I have a plethora of options, especially if I'm making that amount of money. And I think most men share that same sentiment. You keep referring to making generational wealth and talking about, building a family, but you're still missing the fact of what men want. I think generally, right? Men generally want the same thing. Now, that may differ from when you talk about economic background. Yeah, that may differ. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but men on a different level, they don't want the same things. But when we're talking about women with kids, I think that's all across the board, whether you're making a lot of money or not. And I think that's the part that you're missing. But you can stay on the panel if you want. We can agree to disagree on that one. I want to let what is it? Oyo and 001. What's your name? But you guys got some crazy usernames. Okay, what's your name? Where you from?
My name is Oyando. I'm from Kenya.
Okay, yeah, we got a lot of Africans in the house tonight. Damn, what's going on? Okay, what you got to say on the topic? Oh, but first, before you get into that, my question to you is, why don't men want to date women with kids?
My point of view, and according to my experience and what I've observed in society, is most men tend to drift away from dating single men, single mothers, because they don't want, number one, they don't want burden, and number two, they're not ready to raise kids that they didn't sire. You get? So
you said by sire. What do you mean by sire? I've never heard that word before, using that context.
You're like most of the.
And I had to get a restraining order him. Me and him broke up, and then I met another guy, and things were going good. But then he started saying slick shit out of his mouth, and he wanted to marry me. But I just didn't.
Thing is, why'd you have a kid before you were married? Why didn't you think to get married before you had kids?
So it's called, like, we can all lie here, but it's called mental illness. Like,
So you have
he
mental
he
illness?
purposely, huh?
You have
Me?
yeah, you said it's mental illness.
So he purposefully, like, got me pregnant. Like, I was like, hey, we should wait, right? Let's do everything. We got the rings. Let's go and walk. But the more we started, like, going down everything, and I started getting to know his family, it was like, I don't want to do this. So I kept making excuses, so we didn't do it. And it was like, I know it was a mental illness. Like, I know it was like, oh, something wrong with you, because, like, girl, this man has done crazy shit. Why would you marry him? So, and he didn't. You can be like, well, why would you have a baby with him right away?
Hold on, time. Pause for a second. Pause. So
Okay.
you're saying that he's crazy and you have a mental illness because you would have I'm just a little confused. So you said,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so you're basically saying that he's a red flag and you decided to have a kid by him
Mhm.
before marriage because I'm just really confused. I'm just trying to understand it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's start over. Okay, I'm sorry. So when me and him met, he lied to me. He told me he had, like, a place to stay. He told me he had, like, 2 jobs, which he did have 2 jobs, and he did have a place to stay. But, you know, he was supposed to be checking off those boxes. He was a nice man. He took me on vacations. If I said I need $500, he'd give it to me. You know what I mean? He was taking
Okay.
care of me. Okay.
Okay.
So, he asked me to marry him.
And before you had the kid?
Yes. He
So-
asked me to marry him.
Okay, and why didn't you?
And so, you know, you doing stuff, and he was purposely trying to get me pregnant. Okay. Then we go and we get pregnant, like, you know, and
But wait,
we're
time
about to have
out.
this
Before
baby
you come,
still.
before you go on, why didn't you agree to the marriage before you had the kid?
We had the rings.
But you weren't married.
No, we didn't get married yet.
What was the
because
reason?
He's an abuser. He was trying to trap me. So my situation is a little.
He
It's
physically
not the same
abused
as
you?
most people who are just, huh?
He physically abused you?
This man smothered our baby.
Wait,
Okay.
your baby's dead?
No. But he smothered her. So I'm when I say he's an abuser, he's an abuser.
Like with a pillow?
Okay? No, like, he put her, like, I wasn't at the house. I cry. Okay, I don't want to cry about it. So, but he hurt my baby. Okay, and so, you know, he's not allowed to see my kids. He had 2 of them with me. He begged me for these kids, and he hurt me and my kids.
So I'm okay. You're saying a lot.
allowed
Hold
to
on,
go
time
to
out.
IKEA.
You're saying a lot. You understand that. So
Okay,
okay, you didn't marry him.
he told me.
How
that's
did he
why.
hurt the kids? And did you call the cops?
Oh yeah. So we had a court and everything. So, okay. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, I realized we went down a rabbit hole. So anyways, so where do I start? Okay, so he begged me for these kids. Okay, and then when he was, you know, a lot of people say, oh, everybody say this is a narcissist. No, my therapist was like, this is a narcissist. Okay, so he begged me for these kids. He was a great man.
All right,
All the way up until the
I want to
baby's
know,
born. Now,
how did he hurt the first child? This is the first child he hurt that you said he smothered?
the first child, no. This is the second one he smothered.
So why
the
didn't you
first
marry him?
child-
Question. So why didn't you marry him after the first one?
Because, well,
Especially because you said
I was
he
trying to
gave you the
escape.
rings. He asked you to marry him before.
I was trying to escape after a while. I was trying to escape so badly. I was trying to escape so badly. It was so bad. I'm trying to tell you, like, I had dreams and aspirations, and this man came in my life and was, like, trying to destroy me.
So
Okay,
he
like,
but how, I'm so confused. My thing
how
is,
are you confused?
Yeah.
because you said that
Very confusing.
he said that he was horrible, he's crazy, he has mental illness. You had a child with him, and he wanted to marry you before. You didn't. It takes at least about, you know, how many months does it take to have a kid, right? So, and in that time you had another kid and never married him. It's just,
Because I was trying. Okay, listen. After the first one, I was trying to escape. You guys, if you guys have never been in an abusive situation, you know what I mean, where someone is doing crazy stuff to you,
So
you guys
so
don't know. Like, listen, I was
so he
trying to
was
leave.
physically
I'm
abusive.
leaving.
So he
And
was
grabbed the
physically
knife and
abusive.
tried to. Huh? Yes, he was physically abusive.
Because when I asked
This
you the
man
first
put me
time,
through
you
a
said
wall.
he abused the child. You said he didn't abuse you. You said he abused the child. So he was a physically abusive to you
He
also.
put me through a wall. He put me through a wall and he was strangling me. Like, I was trying to leave. I was trapped into this relationship.
Did you? How many times did you
He
call
made
the cops?
Oh my God. So in Maryland, I called the cops like 5 times. They said it was a domestic issue. I don't know if anyone in here is in Maryland, but it was a domestic issue and there was nothing they could do. And there was a few times I asked him to be removed, but there was nothing they could do for me. They weren't doing anything. I had to come to Indiana for them to help me. They finally helped me. And I think that's because of COVID, because there was a lot of women dying in their homes because men were abusing them. Like, this is an actual statistic you can Google. You know what I mean? Like, this is a real thing. You have no, like, the last time I saw him, this man put a knife to me, like, because I wanted to leave.
So why have
that
the
was, like,
second kid? Why not have an abortion? Why not? Why not be
abortion.
on
Okay,
birth
so I
control?
don't think people realize that, like, so for me, I'm a spiritual person, right? My child, my first child I ever, like, was pregnant with, I saw him. I physically, in my dreams, I know it sounds crazy, but
Okay,
in my
man.
dreams,
Okay, but my thing is, why? Okay, even if you don't believe in
I'm trying to
abortion,
explain why
I
not do
understand
abortion.
that, but you don't. I get it. You don't believe in abortion because you have other people and other people want to come up. So I get it. You're a spiritual person. I don't want you to get into that. But what I'm saying is, my thing is, why not be on birth control? My thing is, why have the second child if you were an abusive person? This guy put a knife to your neck. He put you through a wall. He felt you were trapped. Why not? You don't have to tell him to take birth control. Why not take birth control? Why have that second kid if you were such an abusive person? Especially if you call the cops 5 times and you still stayed with the person. You didn't have a restraining order or anything. You still have to. But what'd you say?
You think hold on. When you say that, and I tell you, when I tried to leave, he tried to harm me, like he tried to kill me. When I was driving and I told him I didn't want to be with him anymore, I was wearing glasses at the time, and he was knocking the glasses off my face because I wanted to leave him. I'm just curious to why you believe I wanted to be in that relationship.
Because you had a second child with him. That's why. Because even if you say, well, after the first one, you've been abused and this and that and the third, at some point you can take that child and leave. How'd you get to the case where you decided to have a second child? If you know that this person was abusive, why didn't you take birth control?
So everyone acts like birth control is like a one-fits-all type situation. So, like, y'all do realize that, like, birth control affects your hormones like crazy. And, like, some people get really sick. Like, people get sick. It's not meant for everybody.
So why? Okay, so you were unable to leave the situation because you were scared for your life.
Yeah, like, this man tried to kill me on multiple occasions because I wanted to leave.
And you couldn't leave. You couldn't escape. You couldn't take your child up and leave, and you couldn't go to a parent's house, family house, nothing.
So,
there was
like,
no way
what
out.
What happened is his mom would try to, like, guilt shame me. Everyone, I don't know if anyone has ever been in this type of a situation, but they would guilt shame you, and they would make it hard for you to leave. So, like, I couldn't even go to IKEA. And if I went to IKEA with my mom, I was acting single. I had my kids. I'm at IKEA. I was acting single. That's what he said. I was not allowed to go out and get a job. I was not allowed to do anything. I literally had to, once I had to have a shit ton of help to get out of the situation. He made it so hard. He made it hard. I'm not making, like, excuses. I'm being real.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Let me get somebody else the chance to speak. Did anybody on the panel already want to comment on that? King or Yummy?
Yeah.
Comment on.
I would definitely comment. There's a lot to unwrap from what she has said. But if we go down that road, we'll have another discussion altogether. But in our cultures here, back in Africa, if you go that route with a man, either you have to be married to him at least there's marriage to it. Okay, so there is more commitment on the man's end. But if it's not the case, then I wouldn't understand how you'd have 2 kids with a man in that kind of environment. Sounds very toxic. So it's another.
Let him finish. Let him
I
finish.
would definitely like us to keep the conversation where it was going before this came in, because this seems to be quite a lot to unpack.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yummy, did you want to comment on that quickly or no?
No, she went through what she went through. That was her experience, and nobody can take that away from her, because unless you go through it, you can never say how she felt, or it ain't easy to walk away. So that's her experience, and nobody can say what she didn't go through.
All right.
So I'm sorry you had to go to it, sweetheart.
Okay. So we got some new people on the panel. 9394 Muck. How you doing? What's your name? Where you from?
Hey, good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Vuvu. It's called Vuvu.
Are you from Africa also?
Yeah, South Africa.
Damn, what? There's a lot of Africans on here today. This is crazy because I never, ever get like this many Africans. But anyway, first I have a question for you, and then I'll let you say what you have to say on the topic. Why do you think men don't want women with kids?
So if we have to sugarcoat, we would say that women with kids are good, we love them. We could say all beautiful things, but let's face reality. Let's sit as men. Let's have 10 men in one room and have a conversation that we do not want women to hear without them listening to us, right? The brutal truth. Okay, so let's bring in a woman with no kids, same age, right? And let's bring in a 30-year woman who has no kids and a 30-year woman who has kids. When we're sitting as men and we say, hey, my boy, I see you like them both, but who would you like to marry? So now, the one who has more chances, it's the woman that has no kids, and that's the honest truth. So now, remember that when you date a person, when we are just dating, getting to know each other, or just finding time to ourselves, we are often going to enjoy ourselves together, me and you. But now the problem is when we start being in a relationship whereby we're like, you know what, let's build. I need to get to know your kids. I need to spend time with you and your kids. I need to hear stories about you and your kids. And which is whether we could agree to disagree, most men do not have the patience and the time for other people's kids. You know? And I have realized that most women, the reasons we're going through a whole lot of single women or single mothers, it's because I just believe that women are always going through the same men. Let me give you an example. You know me, I'm Vuvu. I have money, or I'm good looking, whatever that woman wants, right? Even if I tell you that, hey, listen, I've got kids in New York, I've got one in Canada, for the fact that she's with me, she's still gonna fall pregnant for me. Knowing very well that I tell you, I haven't seen my daughter in 2 years. So what makes you think that your child will be a priority into my life? And that's what happens. Do you understand? And now, a lot of women will fall pregnant for the same man all the time, the same douchebag. And then they come on platforms angry and saying that, oh no, I've got values, standards. What are you saying? What are you saying? You're saying that a woman that has no kids, a woman that has kids, have values and her standards have dropped. Is that what you're saying? But who asked you to marry? Who wants to marry you? That's the question, right? So now you can't force me to marry you while I have an option of finding a woman that has no kids. And it is wrong. Yes, I agree with the previous speaker. It is wrong for men to impregnate women and leave them like that. But now, who is impregnating this woman? Because if you go anywhere, whether it's in the States, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's anywhere, you will find that most women are sharing baby daddies. And the niggas and the guys that have no kids.
Coach yourself
And the
there.
guys and the guys that have no kids, it means they have no kids. And most baby daddies, people that have, if a guy makes one kid, you will realize that within several states he's gonna have other kids. So meaning this guy is used to make kids. But instead of women sitting down and say, hey, listen, what's your name? Where's your kid? How's your relationship with your kid? Do you support your kid? No. Women, what they do is when they in love, it is you and me, baby. Nothing else could come between us. Then they fall pregnant for you. And then they think that now, because I've given you a kid, you think that your kid will become a priority, but you need to understand that I am used to impregnant women and I am used to making babies outside. So all I'm saying is that I just feel like our sisters should just have the awareness of just sometimes relaxing at just making kids with just anybody. Like, let the guy marry you. Let the guy show you that he loves you, right? Let's not make excuses for those things. We've got sisters that have got 3 different baby daddies.
Yeah, no,
You
I
know?
agree. I agree with you, and that's it's still a subjective thing. It's not all cases. To be fair, it's not all cases, it's not all women. It's still a very subjective thing, but I do agree with you. But what it alludes to is a lack of a filtering mechanism. A lot of women, they don't filter very well, and even more of a reason why I think that not just women, but I think men too should date with intentions. Like the previous girl, she says she was in an abusive situation, so that may be exceptional. But aside from that, there are a lot of people who sit down and have kids with people, and they decide to not get married first. They decide to not get that commitment first, because even if you were married and you divorce that person, best believe that you'll be getting some type of benefits from that person if they were to leave. And it's just a lot better to have that commitment first, at least. But things happen, and I think that also alludes to a moral compass. Not everybody shares the same values and morality when it comes to that. But I think that's even what you said is true, and like I said, it's subjective. It's not in all cases, to be fair. I do see it a lot, but I just think it's more of a reason why women should at least try to go for a certain type of commitment before they allow themselves to be impregnated by a kid. That's my opinion, and the opinion that billions of other people share, but not everybody always commits. People are real selective with the things they want, and people make exceptions.
But now the honest truth, just to rub it off, I'll be done. The honest truth is that hence I said when I started, all I'm saying is that there are men that will come and marry a woman with kids, right? And love them as his own. And we've seen it. It happens, right? But now, that is, honestly speaking, that is a jackpot. And 9 out of 10 is normally older men, right? So it will be the guy who not even understands. It'll be the guy that is older and is like, you know what? I love you. I don't care if you've got kids or not. Let's grow together. It's okay. But now, if you want to come to this younger generation, and you find a young man who has his own apartment, drives a nice car, and is doing well for himself. Now, he also wants to have the joy of raising his own children, the joy of having him and his partner without anyone interfering. And that's the honest truth. So that young man would rather go look for a woman that has no kids. You said something that I saw a lot of comments and people were getting emotional about it. And I understand very well why some women were angry when you said a friend of yours, when he said that he would, when he has not friend of yours, on your chat, on your chats, group chats, there's someone that said they would rather have fun with women with kids than actually
Oh, well,
being a committed.
well, no, yeah, no,
and-
I hear what you're saying, but that wasn't
yeah,
necessarily one person. That was a collective. That was a collective
yes,
of men that said that.
yes. So now what I'm saying is that them saying that you need to understand that all I'm gonna say is that if you have kids and you are a woman and you are a mother, I'm not saying that your standards should drop, but you should also start looking at, not always looking at the hype guys, right? Not always looking at the coolest dudes, right? I think that you must look at a man that is willing to be a man to you and a man to your kids. And sometimes it's not an everyday thing.
Let's cut.
It's not an everyday.
Let's cut it. You can stay on the panel. Let's cut it short. I want the India Latch. I don't want her to speak because let's let her speak, and then we also have another person. How you doing? Where you from?
Hi, my name is India, and I'm from Indy. So
Indy where?
Midwest,
Indiana?
Indiana. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cause you said India. I don't know. I know like people have like abbreviations and acronyms for their place, but if I've never been there, I'm not gonna know it. But India. I think you're the second person on here to come from Indiana. I feel like somebody else said they were
Yeah,
from
I
Indiana.
like little Miss Neo. She seems like she's cool. She says she
Oh, you
relocated.
guys know each other?
We do not. Just
Okay.
from here.
Okay. So what you got to say on the topic?
Ooh, I had to compose myself because let me just set this straight.
All right, let's
Single
keep it
moms-
respectful. It sounds like you about to get
No,
into
no,
it, but let's keep it
No,
respectful.
no.
All
Single
right.
moms do have options. I have a lot of options.
Are you married?
No, I'm not married by choice. I had maybe how many proposals? A couple. I'll say I don't want to get into numbers, but almost about 3. 2 was when I was younger, and 1 was recent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this guy that was talking earlier, he had mentioned that a lot of single moms have to lower their standards. That is absolutely false. I say
False based off of what?
realistic.
False based off of
I
what?
say be realistic. Be realistic, but lower your standards. Absolutely not. And for the sake of your child, you need to not lower your standards. I don't let people meet my kids. I'm not dating for a father for my kids. He has great father figures. However, because of the future, you can't cut me off. You gotta let me-
Question. Oh, well, first of all,
Land
I
my-
first of all,
land my-
time out. First of all, I can cut you off
Uh-huh.
if I want. It's my show. Let's get it. I
Yeah,
keep
but
it
I'm
respect.
talking. You gotta be respectful.
Okay, and I am, but I'm the
Okay.
host. This is my party. I can cry if I want to. You understand?
Okay.
Now I'm
I'm
gonna
too.
let you. Look, I'm gonna let you finish, but I wanted you to elaborate on something before you finish. All I said was, you said that you don't have to lower your standards, and I'm asking my question was, where are you pulling that from? Is that anecdotal? Or are you just saying in general?
In general,
Based off of what?
women should not, and especially mothers, lower their standards.
Okay, why not? Where are you pulling that
Okay.
from?
And the reason I'm saying is you no longer are having responsibilities for yourself, but you also have to look out for your child. There is no reason on this earth that you should lower your standards because you are a mother. If anything, you want to be a little more discerned and look around and find a better fit for you and your child. Okay? So moving forward with that. So no, I haven't had an issue with dating. 1, yes, younger guys are actually more interested in me than older. I would actually prefer an older man with a child, actually. However, I tend to get more men that are kidless, that are younger. And it might be the way I look. I might look young or fun or whatever the case is. But I do try to tell those type of men, go get you a woman without a child. Go. And they say, oh, it's all these million excuses in the world. But I definitely feel like if you don't have any children and that's what you want, go get it. There is nobody forcing you into dating any mothers. We are not desperate. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Especially not anybody of my caliber, any of my friends. We're not. And I want men that are thinking for some reason. I heard somebody say women should be used for recreational. You couldn't even get me on a date. You couldn't even get my number. What? What, sir? Just because you don't have no kids, you think you got an option?
Uh,
I actually prefer men with kids because they have more of the fatherless minds.
But ma'am, you're
So
you're
I just
speaking from your perspective.
no, I'm
Okay,
speaking from
you
any
are.
woman
You are. That's not
that
any
has
woman.
standards.
That's not any woman. You got to understand. Even if you say, let's look at your picture, right? Let's say if you're a decent looking girl, right? You may be exceptional in that case. That's not everybody. That's not everybody. Even if you say, and I'm always skeptical of people who say they have married proposals, but they're not actually married. That's just me picking fun. And
You
I'm
don't
gonna be
have
real.
to- you don't
Let me
have to
finish. Let me
accept
finish.
that.
I'm always gonna say that, and I could call you out on it because you're not married, right? But okay, cool. Let's say if you said you do get a lot of marriage proposals, even if you say that you can order a little more and you'll have and you can be an exception to the rule, but that's not
Right.
everybody.
This
And that's so
plays
I think that what you're doing is giving people a disservice because it's saying that,
I'm
well,
not.
it is. It's like saying, well, I can say that for myself. I can say, well, okay, with my friends, I say, well, I get a lot of options. If I haven't been on dating apps in a while, but let's say the last few times I had like maybe 400 or 500 likes. Okay, cool. When I look around at my peers, they're not getting that many. When I look at my clients, they're not getting that many. When you look at statistics, it's like under 30, I think it's like 1 out of 5 men don't have sex in a year, and then like 1 out of 3 are virgin in the United States. So, and even when I look at, even if you give you anecdotal experience, a lot of guys that I speak to, they're not getting a lot of experience, and most men don't approach. So I can say, well, a lot of these guys don't have options, so I don't expect their experience to be the same as mine. And that's common sense to say, well, your experience with life is different from everybody else's. So for you to say that, oh, I don't have to settle, I got all these different proposals, that's your experience, man.
I
And
didn't
so
say that. I said women should have standards and be
you
realistic.
you
and
said
that's
that
gonna be
no
universal.
women have to settle. We don't. That's
That's
exactly
right.
what you said. But that's
That's
not true
right.
because you're putting your
How is-
perspective. You're putting your perspective.
Should you settle? Can you settle? Should you settle?
Okay, so put it like this. Let's talk about the numbers.
I'm
Are
not
you a
talking
black
about
woman?
numbers.
Because
We're
only
being
20,
realistic.
most women aren't getting married. And then if you're a black woman, 26%
And
or
most men aren't
25%
having
of women
sex.
aren't
So
married.
where we at? Most men aren't having sex, and most women aren't getting married. So I mean, we're stuck in the middle here.
But
So yes, keep
but,
the standards to where they are.
okay, cool. But the point is, you're telling, if that's the case, even still, why are you telling women they don't have to settle?
Why are you telling men that women should settle? Why are you?
I didn't say that. What I'm saying
but
is,
that's what you just
no,
talked
no, no,
to.
no, no. What I'm saying
Okay,
is,
well, I was
if you
trying to finish
have,
my point
all
and
right,
then
cool,
let
cool.
you
What?
carry
No, no, no.
on.
What I'm saying is,
Getting
if
interrupted
you
like every time.
have somebody who is willing to take care of you in meeting all the standards that you checked off with the example that I gave, the only thing that girl said was she didn't want to get married because she doesn't go on enough dates. But when we look at it logically, if somebody has their own place and saying you can move into mine and I can move into yours with your child and is willing to take care of you, especially when you're not working, that doesn't make sense. So you would tell a person that's unemployed with a child living off of government benefits
Now, I didn't say all
reject.
that.
No, but that's the example that I'm giving you. People with inflated egos, and you're telling women
No,
you don't
I
have to
don't have
settle.
inflated ego.
No, but
I'm
no,
saying be
no, no, no. But
realistic.
say that's the problem, and that's the example that I've been given all night, and it sucks because every time I speak on it, I have to add more of the situation because people are getting it misunderstood, and that was my intention. So this is when it's frustrating when you're telling women in
Like,
fucked
you're
up
triggered by it.
situation.
Like,
No,
what's wrong with me saying something about
because you're
standards?
telling women that are in fucked up situations that they don't have to settle. And that's your experience. You
Even
may
if
have
their
a good
situations
experience.
are messed up, they should focus on themselves and not settle.
Oh my God. That's
Can I finish?
let her finish. Let her finish what she has to say. And then I'll let you comment on it. No, finish what you have to say. Finish what you have to say.
Queen Mara's question is should
No.
have
Stop. We're not reading other people's questions. Finish what you had to say.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm gonna move forward because I couldn't even get it. Yes, I don't think women should settle. I think they should be realistic. You feel me? I don't think you should go out here trying to look for Drake or nothing like that. You know, if you're working a regular 9 to 5, there's probably a normal corporate guy. A lot of men don't have this view as you think they do. Oh, she's got one child. Oh, I'm gonna look at da 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 da. She's a nice girl. She works. She looks good. She take care of herself. this and that. Maybe she has one or two. I work with doctors and they literally marry women with children. So it doesn't go with every man, you know, and I want that narrative to really stop in a sense, because it only goes for men maybe that are kidless and young and don't want a woman with kids. And if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But as far as women, stay beautiful, stay healthy, take care of your kids, stay fit, keep your standards peachy. There's no reason for you to push yourself down or have low self-esteem or none of that. And that's just what it is. Life will serve you well. Take care of yourself. And don't worry about, men are not going to choose because I have a kid. Girl, the kids don't stay in your house forever. Some of my friends had kids in their 20s and their kids are out their house in their 30s and 40s and they're living their life. So what are they supposed to do? Deem themselves for having a kid 20 years ago, 15 years ago? No. Stay beautiful, stay healthy, stay fit, keep your standards where they are. You will meet somebody right where you want to meet them. And that's just what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Anybody
Where's the
want to
host?
comment on what she said?
Yeah, I do want.
Okay.
100%.
Oh wait, before you go, let Sky, the last guy who came on, let him speak for a second because he never got to speak yet. What's going on, buddy? What's your name? Where you from?
Hi, actually, my handle is Skin RN. My name is
Oh, okay.
Kwanzaa. I'm from California.
Okay.
I just wanted to preface my statement by saying, first, I am married. I do not have any children. And I am here to advocate for the women who are single. And this is directed towards the men who state, and I just want to be super clear, who state that they don't want women with children because they consider them low value.
Mhm.
I just want to bring statistics. These are facts that women, let me be very clear. Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs right now in the United States. And we are also at the same time more educated. So those statistics include single mothers. So if y'all want to say that Black women or women, I guess, period, with children who are single are low value, the statistics state where. You feel what I'm saying?
Wait,
Like,
so
where we low value at?
you're putting a woman's value in her education and her how much money she makes?
That's where men are putting the value.
Okay,
at.
but you can't.
No. Whoa.
Wait, come on.
Christ,
You're starting a different conversation now. You know that, right? This is a totally different conversation.
What's the totally different conversation?
What you're
Because
talking about.
That value encompasses everything. Value encompasses your accomplishments.
Okay.
It encompasses where you are in your life, what you have in your life, whether it's materialistic, whether you're spiritual, whether what you feel your purpose is in this life.
Okay,
whether
but
you feel your moralities, your
okay, cool.
ethics, it encompasses
I get that.
everything.
Listen, but what you're missing is men and women value different things.
So how about this? When y'all say that single women are low value, that's on what your opinion of a woman is low value. Because if you call a woman just because she's a single woman low value.
Okay, whoa, stop. I don't think I ever said single women are low valued, right?
No,
I said what I'm saying is they're not valued. What I'm saying, they're not valued as much as somebody who doesn't have kids. That's what I said. I didn't say they were low value.
Listen. That's why I said I will be very clear. This statement is directed towards the men who said single women are low value. That's exactly what I said. I wanted to be very clear. Though that's because I've seen plenty of the men in the comments saying single women have low value. That's why I say I'm directing this comment strictly to them.
And you're putting their value with them being entrepreneurs and them having an education.
That's a portion of the value. Yes, that's definitely a portion.
Okay, so tell me this. So tell me this. So tell me this. If, say, for example, hypothetical situation, let's say I actually do. Let's say I make north of, like, say if I make 10K a month, 100K something a year, right? Around that range and maybe up and down. Let's say I make that. You come to me and say you have a business. Now, I know a lot, and you're right. There are a lot of women who are entrepreneurs, but I wouldn't really necessarily consider them as so much business owners versus being self-employed, right? Because that's just a whole nother conversation. I won't get into that. But you tell me you have an education, you have a business, right? And I say, okay, cool, that's nice. But that doesn't bring value to a relationship between me
Tell
and
me
you.
exactly what. Tell me exactly what you feel brings value.
Not
to a
feel
relationship.
this.
Because I can tell.
Not feel. This is collective. What men want. But the question is, do you know what a man wants? What do men value?
What do men feel brings value to a relationship?
How about an African
If
sugar?
it's not a woman's education,
Oh, you're
if
all
it's not her
Americans.
financial. Listen, let me finish.
Let her
If
finish.
if it's not a woman's, and this is all encompassing, if it's not a woman's education, if it's not her financial status, if it's not her morals, her ethics, her values, if it's not how she treats others in life, if it's not how she keeps her health in check, if it's not how she takes care of her children, how she treats her family and her friends, what, besides all of that I just named, what brings a value to a woman?
Oh, to be fucked up, but a woman with no kids. Let me stop. No, but no, let me, I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious. No, stop. I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious. I'm gonna be serious. No, but look, you say, okay, you have an education. Okay, you have an education and this, that, and the third. That does nothing for me. You can have an education. What? Time out. Let me finish. Listen, let's keep this respectful. I'm the host. Listen, I've been letting everybody speak. I let everybody go. When I'm speaking, let me speak. All right. I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say. No, we can't. This is my shit. We on my show. No. Listen.
That's how you lose viewers.
I don't care. Because I've been pretty fair in letting people speak. When I'm speaking, I'll give you your time. I don't want to have to pause you. Listen, I don't want to have, nope, wait, we didn't have a problem with anybody else yet. They might not have liked it, but they still got to say what they got to say after I said what I said. So let me finish.
Okay, what value?
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to mute you because
I'm asking you, what's the value?
All right, I'm mute you for now, and I'll let you speak when I'm done.
Can I tell her?
No. I'm gonna finish. I'll let you speak. You can speak true when I'm done. This is the problem. Women talk about education. They talk about the money they make. Right? I am 30 years young. I've never dated a woman who made a lot of money, where so much so that their money made so much of an impact on my life where it changed my life. Right? Their money wasn't paying my bills. Their money wasn't, they didn't give me money so I can give to my mom. They didn't give me money so I can give to my girlfriend at the time. The money you make does not change my life. And if we're being real, if you're a real person, well, I can't say that. There are some exceptional cases where a woman will date a man or marry a man where he doesn't have a lot of money, but that is not most cases. That is not. In most cases, women say, well, I want a man that's making at least the same or more. And then even still, if you guys go buy a house, if he's not buying a house, you're going to go buy the house together. So if he can't match you that money, you're not going to date him. You're not. You can have an education, that's cool, but people usually tend to date and marry within their same realm, socio-economical level. So if you're dating a certain amount, if you come from that type of family, you tend to fall into that. So if a man ain't matching that, it doesn't help. And women compare. You can have an education in this and education in that. I went to college. I don't have a degree in nothing, but I've never dated a woman that had an education that made more money than me. So you talk about this education, it does not, it's nice. And when people tell me they have education, I acknowledge that. Oh, that's really good for you. You're probably smart. That's really good for you. But it does nothing for me. If you have an education and like you're a registered nurse and I like cut myself, or if you can help some type of way. But my point is, it doesn't help on a grand scale. It doesn't help. You talk about the education like that's such a bargaining chip. It's not. Because what men value, they value a woman's youth, they value a woman's beauty, her ability to how do you say, to cooperate, to get along, Nobody wants somebody that's unruly. I got an education. I'm an entrepreneur. Listen, I don't care. You telling me about this like that's gonna come and change my life. Is your education gonna help me get a job? I still got to take on my responsibilities as a man. So what like, and that's the thing. You talk about a bargaining chip, like it's a bargaining chip, and then even still, if you have education, if you're a single mom and you're doing all that, you have entrepreneurship. Most men, they still don't want to men with kids. You gotta let it. All right, that's cool. That's fine. There's still another woman your age or maybe younger that doesn't have kids, because that was the sole topic of this. Why men don't want to date women with kids. Not saying that I'm opposed to it. Not saying all men are opposed to it. And that's the problem.
Is it my turn now?
You can speak.
Okay. Again, hold on. Let me go back and hear my dog barking. So you said men value women for their youth and for their beauty. You're saying that
and cooperation.
Youth, beauty, and cooperation.
Loyalty,
youth,
those type of things.
Okay, so youth, beauty, cooperation, and loyalty physically can do things for you versus a woman who has her own businesses, have her own finances, who can put you in position to open up your own business and to open up and to have your own things. You're saying youth and beauty and loyalty and cooperation can do things for you, but somebody who's a boss and can put you on can't do anything for you. Like that is the most backwards thing I have ever heard in my entire life.
Wow.
The point of a business is the point of a marriage is to build. A marriage is the exact same thing as basically a business, a corporation. You are building together. You can't build off someone's youth and someone's beauty and you can build, of course, you need loyalty and cooperation. But by you saying you want somebody so how about this? You broke and this beautiful, loyal, cooperative young woman are broke too. What two broke people gonna do together? Sit and look at each other and just do what? Like, no, seriously, be logical here. What can two broke people do together?
If you die, what is
Hold on. Stop. Okay. Listen. You just said somebody building a business. How realistically, and I want to see if you're a real person. How many men say, "Oh, damn, how many men can rely on a woman? How many men go to women and say, "Oh, she got her own business. Let me try to build off of that. No, what do women go? Oh, he's trying to leech off me. He's trying to leech off me. Oh, and let's be real. Most women are not going to date a man that don't got shit going on. You're talking. Do you hear? No, just stop. You're talking about building a man, and there's some women who do it. And I still believe it's fewer than many. Most women are not about to sit here and talk about, oh, let me take him from broke to rich and let me build him up. Most men got to go out there and get it on their own. Most men got to go out there and fend for themselves. Most men are not waiting. Let me finish. Most men are not waiting for a woman to come and say, oh, I'm waiting for a woman to come along and she got her own thing going on and I'm going to build off of her. No, you're not being realistic. What world do you live in? And then on top of that, bro, I'm going to have to mute you if you don't stop talking. I let you talk. Now let me talk. And my thing is like, you talk about, oh, I got my own stuff going on. I got my own this going on. You realize how masculine you sound? You sound like one of my ambitious homeboys. Yo, I got this idea for a business. I got an idea for this. I got an idea for that. You trying to wear the shoes in a relationship? You sound like a dude. And what you got to understand is when you talking like that, you coming in this masculine frame. And what you got to understand is people that start businesses usually do pretty well, right? People that start businesses, they're probably looking, unless they're doing it out of passion, they're usually looking to fall into that 1%. Most men don't want to just start a business. You talking about, oh, I could take a man and build him and do this and that and the third. What if a man is content with making $60K a year? Average. What if he's content with making 45 to 50K a year, which is around average United States? And he's content with that. He takes care of himself. He has his own place, own car. He has his own job. Doesn't really need you, but you come in saying, I can help you build this. I can help you do that. Most men don't fall into the 15 to 1%. If it were that case, it wouldn't be the 1%. It would be the 10%, right? According to the IRS last year, 2022, only 1% of homes make 500K or more. So let me. Oh my!
You're rambling.
I can ramble all the fuck I want. It's my life.
Ooh, don't get kicked off your live. You're cussing.
The point is, and it goes to show you're not listening. You're missing a point. Most men don't. They don't. You're talking about building a man up. What if he's content with making 50, 60K, 40K a year, doing his own thing? You can't come in a man's world and tell him, "Oh, I'm gonna build you up. I'm gonna do this," and trying to tell a man what to do. I think you're missing the point. You're talking about what two broke people gonna do. Yeah, if you broke, don't marry that person. And that's usually how it goes. A woman ain't trying to, and that's the one thing you're not being real about.
No, seriously, can I respond?
You're not being real. It's like you're so unrealistic about what you're talking about.
Let me tell you how real I am. This is literally my life. I've opened 2 businesses. I got with my now husband. Helped him open his business. He has a hot shot business because of me, because we work together as a team. And guess what? We went from broke, fried broke to make netting damn near $800,000 a year because of me, because we didn't settle for mediocrity.
Cool. So if you're making almost $1 million a year, you fall into 1%. You're talking no. If you make $800,000 a year, right? If you said that's what you're making, right? Roughly about, even if you say if it's the business, even if you, together. So if you cut it in half, it's still 1%. You still fall into the 1%, even if you say individually. You're talking about one exceptional case. You're still talking about the 1%. But no. Listen to what you're saying. You're talking about your experience. That's the 1%. Most of the people in the United States don't make that. Most of the people in the world make entirely less than that.
But you know why? You just said why? Because you said some men are okay with making $60,000 a year.
Okay.
You don't need to be okay with mediocrity. That's my point.
Okay.
You get you a woman, and that's the reason. Let me finish.
Do you hear yourself?
Bro. You men are okay.
Can someone?
Hold on. But look. This is my point. I'll let y'all speak. She just talked about somebody making 1% in the United States. If it were that easy, everybody would be doing it. Most people don't make that much, especially women. On average, men usually make more. So you're talking about, me and my husband together bringing approximately 800,000. So you're making close to $1 million a year. And you say, well, you should get a woman to get you to make. Most women don't have ambition like that. And even if they do, most women aren't making that money. That's so unrealistic to say, you need to get a woman to put a battery in your back and help you make money and do this and do that. And the third, you're still falling into the 1%. Most of the world doesn't live off that. So for you to say that, that's unrealistic and this and that and the third, and this is a totally different conversation at this point, right? It totally straight away from why women don't want kids, especially if a woman is making $400,000 a year with a kid. Your options go out the window unless you're settling for somebody who's making way less than you. You have one exceptional situation and then trying to say that's everybody and everybody can do it, because if everybody can do it, they would be doing it. And most people are not doing that. So it's like she's equating value with saying that, you can make this, you can make, bro. It's almost like fucking delusion to think that all women are doing that, especially when you look at the numbers. Like it's madness. Like it's like how can you not? You just said you're making $800,000 a year and then say, well, you could get a man to do that. That's success. That's no. And then you have a husband who's making the same amount as you. You know how hard that is to find? You have an exceptional case. So let's say, okay, well, you got a man who's not making that much. Now he has you according to you got to find a woman who's already having a business, who has lower expectations, doesn't mind settling for a man that's not making as much as her. And then y'all both take your company to almost $1 million a year. Like, come on. That's exception to the rule. That's not generalities. Like, it's crazy. Like, come on. It's just madness to me. Anybody want to comment on that?
I bet not, because I was the exception too. So
I do.
You said what now?
I do.
I said I bet not comment because you said I was the exception too. So I
But
guess we all
but do you agree? But do you disagree that that's an
I do
exception
have
to the
one.
rule? Hold on, let her speak. Do you disagree that that's an exception to the rule, though? That's
yes,
all.
I disagree because partnership is everything. That's the whole thing. Like if you go into
Oh my God.
a relationship or a marriage with partnership, yes, income is going to triple. There's going to be things, and that's what happened here. He's seen her; they became partners, not enemies, not hierarchy, not I'm the man, you make less, I make more, blah blah blah, beating on my chest. They became partners.
No.
And anytime,
But go
and
back to the point. Go back. You got to go to the
anytime,
point of what she's saying. Go to the
and
point of what she's saying.
anytime you have partners and you come into that era, yes, you're going to make more. You're going to do things together.
You're gonna make
average
more to 1% of the country. You're gonna fall into the 1%.
1%. Even if you come together and you make 30 and you make 30, still together, you guys are making 60 to 70. It doesn't matter. There's a partnership. When
Okay.
you form a partnership and you do things
Okay.
together, you will get great things out of it.
Okay.
And that's basically what she was saying.
No,
And
that's
even
not
if
what
there
she was saying.
Even if there was a man that didn't make anything
No.
and he got with her, listen, you gotta let, I can't even talk.
Speak. You're
Even if there was a
speaking.
man that made nothing and he got with her and she says, babe, let's form this business. He starts making half of that. She starts making half of that. Boom, you got a partner. They have 2 different jobs. It's partnership. You might have a woman.
But that's
or a
not what she
man.
said. She already had a business and then helped him start
Yes,
his.
that's what I just said. Even if he had nothing and she had a business and she made a proposal and he took it and now they split in the business.
Okay,
it's a
realistically.
partnership.
So realistically, would you take a broke man off the street? Realistically. Be honest. Because you said you got a lot of proposals and you're a pretty girl, so I'm pretty sure you date motherfuckers that got money. So would you take a broke man off the street, say, I'm gonna build you up? Or even if he's not broke, if he's a regular guy, say, I start a business, you gonna start your business too? Would you do that?
He's a regular guy
Would you do that?
purpose. If he's a regular guy with a goal and purpose and he's spiritual, because spirituality is big for me, yes, I would. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Why do I have to? Why do you have to? Because a woman, you know what I'm saying? Our standards are not just money, contrary to belief. If you want to go digger, I mean, they're out here.
Bro,
You can see them.
there's just
But
a
me-
lack of
me
honesty.
specifically,
So you and all your friends, you
It has
never
to be
said that you
spiritual
would date a
man.
man that you have to date a man that's making more than you, so you're okay by your standards. Because before you were saying don't settle. So this is a contradiction. You were saying no, before you were saying don't settle. I don't have to settle for nothing. No women should settle. But
Right.
now we done took the fucking, according to you last two, we done took the expectations and the standards to the tippy top. Now we're talking about the 1%. We're talking about $1 million a year. You can do that. According to the last woman, all you had to do was say, well, I can get a man and say, well, I could get him to $1 million a year. I can get that. So now putting y'all together, you shouldn't settle. You should get an entrepreneurship. You should get a woman that has a kid. And then even if she's single, she's an entrepreneur, have her own business, you should go. But then you shouldn't settle. So what does that put you in?
Sir, you didn't make any sense. What I'm saying is,
okay.
So when you say
I'm
settling, you thinking that all women shouldn't be gold diggers. Every woman is not looking for money. Oh, you didn't know that.
You just said don't settle. You said you don't have to settle for anything. What does don't settle mean?
Not settling for no.
No. Don't settle. You didn't specify. You said don't settle. What does don't settle mean?
Exactly.
What does don't settle mean? That means money too. What if that's their standard?
And
That's don't settle. Is that not settling?
You're not understanding, are you?
What am I not understanding? When you say don't settle, what does that mean? You said don't settle. You didn't specify. So if a woman has a standard, she has a list, and it says don't settle. Well, I'm gonna think, okay, I'm not gonna settle for money. I'm not gonna settle for high. I'm not gonna settle for anything. So I have to. So according to the last person, she makes $800,000 a year collectively with her husband. So that's the 1%. So what if? So now we're telling people don't settle, even if their goal is for the 1%.
You're just saying don't settle with women with kids. I can say I don't want to settle for a man that ain't making 60K or over 60K. This is my own thought process of the settling. Don't settle. If you want a man that's gonna be faithful, get a man that's gonna be faithful. If you want a man that's
I can't
Right.
because
Can I?
but you see the contradictions. Before she said women shouldn't have to settle the law, and then she was like, oh well, you should be realistic, but then you don't settle. She literally said that you should be realistic but don't settle. And it's so crazy because it's like women are doing a disservice to themselves. Now, I'm not saying you can't start a business together. I'm not saying that you can't have a business where you start and you can accumulate money together. But when you say, oh, don't settle for nothing, women shouldn't have to settle at all. It's like, come on now. Especially when you have somebody coming up and saying, oh, me and my husband make almost $1 million a year with our 2 businesses. You're giving people false hopes. That is not, bro, like that is so crazy. Most people are not doing that. And it's like,
That's true. That's true.
I don't think it's.
I have something.
I don't think it's false hope.
Everyone has been going off. I don't know. I thought I would
That's
have
the
something.
norm
to
for
say.
me.
So, can I really?
Yeah.
This is Laquans again. My Hampton RN. I don't feel like it's false hope. It's because I actually worked for it, and that's when I tell. That's the reason why I told you education is important. That's the reason why education adds value. Because when you have say for instance, one of your partner, but 2 people in a relationship, one of the people is educated. It's not false hope because that educated person is going to know the rules, the regulations, the contract law. They're going to know how to maneuver in this world to get money. When that person figures out how to get money, they start getting money and then they put their spouse on to get money. So it's not unrealistic. You just got to learn how to do it. That's
but the education has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. How many millionaires don't have educations?
Exactly.
How many millionaires don't have educations? But the whole point of this, but listen, the whole point of this, you equated a woman's value with her education and entrepreneurship. And then you talked about your own anecdotal personal experience. That's not the whole. And even still, if we go back to the topic, men, that doesn't give a woman value. Listen, you can have a woman that has an education or business and she looks good, but then you can have a woman that looks just as good and basically be a female loser, still living at home, don't even have a job, just going to school. He'll choose her because she's more valuable. She doesn't have this sense of inflated ego talking about I have an education, this and that, I should be valued. No, he'll still choose her over you. Because you have all this expectations, all these things that, oh, I can build you up. But meanwhile, he's making 50, 60K a year. He don't want you to come build him up. He good. And that girl, that female loser who looks just as good or even better, saying, well, okay, I'll go get her and take care of her because she's happy with this and that and the third. And I can take care of her on my salary. Versus you coming, oh, I'm making this, I'm making that. We can do this. I can build you up. My point is that you're saying that women, that brings them their value, but it doesn't with most men. That's what I'm trying to tell you, especially if you have a kid, because men value different things and you're trying to equate yourself to a man, right? You're trying to say, well, okay, well, I have money, this and that, and the third, I'm built. That's something that men have to go strive and do. I'm not saying that you can't do it, not saying that you shouldn't do it. All I'm saying is that you're misunderstanding. I don't think you understand what men really want. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with people coming together and building together. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you saying that single mothers getting an education and getting starting a business is going to make their situation better. That's not true. Now there's always exceptional situations, but what you're saying is not true. It's not. Like it's just like it's astonishing to me.
You guys have been going off. Yeah.
Say that again.
So I wanted to have something to contribute to what everyone has been saying. I had Americans going on about it, but
I'm here in Uganda. That's where I'm reaching you guys at. Oh man, what are you putting on? But I want to actually tell the ladies, okay, what men really value in women. We don't value your careers, too much of that. No. Men value a woman who's youthful, cooperative. Okay, this is what men value. A woman who's young, youthful, cooperative, submissive, a good woman. Okay, this is me telling you from Africa, our point of view. Any man, a serious man, wouldn't care about a woman's, I don't know, she has her money, what. That's of no use to me as a man. So of no use to me as a man. And talking about value and talking about standards, if you're a woman who has multiple kids with different men, you don't even really have, you can say you have your own standards as you as a person, but as men value you, your standards have been lessened and lowered dramatically, I tell you. So for you to say that you shouldn't lower your standards, you shouldn't lower your standards basing them on what? If you have kids out of wedlock, you've had multiple kids with different men, your standards are not really good, I tell you, from a man's point of view. So all these women I've been telling about, men don't look at your money. That's the least of our worries. Saying that you have all your money, you have all this and that, that's no one is looking at that. Men don't look at that. Serious men don't look at that. Only weakest men will do that. But men will value you. So it is important that the ladies listen to the men speak. Because the men are telling you, but you're not listening. You're not listening. It is important that the ladies should listen. When you listen, you will understand, but you're just going off on feelings. In Africa, years ago, and even now still, a lady would only get into a relationship with the man, okay? But the father would be the one to acknowledge the man and make sure the man is in position to look after his daughter. It's the man, the father of the lady, that chose a husband for her. The reason why the men were more logical in their choice of a partner for their daughter. The women were always going off on feelings, okay? It was always important that the woman was vetted. That the man was vetted by the father of the woman.
Arranged
This
marriage.
was very important. It's not arranged. No. Listen very well. You're not listening. The woman would go on courtship, right? Choose a man for herself, but the man, the father of the girl, would have the final say on that relationship. After, okay, vetting the man. The man would, the father of the girl would look at it, would use, would put feelings aside, okay? The math would need to add up with this man, his character, how he treats his people, how he treats his own family, okay? How he treats his own parents and things like that. The father of the girl would be able to look at all these as requirements for him to take his daughter. Not over feelings and things like that. So all these women, whatever thing they're saying, they should just listen to the men speak. Just listen. You're going off on very many things. You shouldn't lower yourself. By the fact that you've had children with multiple men, you've already reduced your standards.
It takes two to get
You
pregnant.
have. Okay? So, and all these women who are talking, most of them here, going off, they are not married. None of them is married. They have they have kids or multiple kids, I don't know, but they're not married.
Sorry, sir, but I
So,
sorry.
And I'm married too.
I am married with no children, and I said I was advocating on behalf of the women with children, and I told you my experience, and obviously my experience works. So that's what I'm saying. There's another
No,
option.
but your experience is exceptional. Can you admit
Those
that
are
your experience is,
exceptional. We're
wait,
talking about
stop.
the rule.
Can you admit that your experience is exceptional?
I would say my experience is different. but I
Let her
would
finish.
say
Let her finish. Let her finish. What'd you say now?
I will say my experience is different. I won't say that it's exceptional because I worked towards it.
Okay, just because
I
you worked,
really-
all right, listen, just because you work towards it, that doesn't mean you're exceptional. If you said you and your husband make $800,000 a year collectively, do you know that the IRS, you can Google this, according to the IRS, 2022, 1%, do you understand? 1% of the US society makes 500,000. You just said that you and your husband, half of that you basically make. Together you make above that. How is that not an exception to the rule?
The reason
By
why it's not an
definition.
the reason why it's not an exception is because it's possible. Exceptions
Oh
means
my
basically if
God.
this is
Holy
something that
shit.
you can't get your hands on, this is something that you don't have access to.
I had stop. All right, listen, I had to boot her because at that point, when you're faced with facts, and people like that you can't talk to. I just literally, and I said you can Google it. I hit you with facts, hard, cold facts, right? You can Google it. You can go on IRS. And if 1% of homes make 500,000, and she said her and her husband make above that, and then telling that women, and then the girl before said, "Oh, you don't have to settle." This is my point. And then you have women in the comments saying, "Oh, I'm not settling, I'm not listening," and this is like the blind leading the blind. You got to understand that's exceptional, making almost $1 million a year. That's not even a 15%. That's above the 1%. And it's just like when you face somebody with facts and she couldn't at least say that I have an exceptional situation, that is somebody who's not using logic and reason because I work towards it. That's you. Not everyone is doing that.
I strongly suggest you avoid women like that, like the Black Plague.
It's crazy.
In the long run.
And it's like you can't even talk because it's like you face somebody with hope. That's like saying, well, listen, every time you go outside, people are shooting in front of your door. And you statistically, everybody who's come out the house, out the apartment building got shot. And you say, well, I made it through one time, so everybody else can make it through. You're the exception. Now you're going to get a whole bunch of people shot because you're saying, I'm going to deny the facts. Like the logic is like baffling. It's like crazy.
Look, you're going to hurt yourself trying to fix that problem.
Imagine staying in such a person.
Like I'm supposed to go running. I got a goddamn headache trying to just speak some reason.
You have to understand the elevator don't go all the way up to the penthouse, okay?
But if people work hard, you basically saying it's a lot of people out here that work hard for what they got. So let's just agree to disagree on this. Some people don't have a lot because they don't aim for high. So it's like this in life. If you want to become something better, and you can make a face, but it's honest. If you want to have something better, you can't hang with people who don't have nothing. So in order for you to have good things, you got to elevate yourself. And all she did was elevate herself. And for everybody else that make less than that, elevate yourself to your fullest potential. Be the best you can be. Make what you can make. This ain't about man and woman. It's about everybody need to be at their fullest potential. You can make as much money as you want to make. People are settling. When you say settle, and that goes to what you settling is like, why settle for making $20K a year when you got the potential and the brain and the common sense and the history to make more? Too many of us are selling. That's why we're in a position a lot of people in. That's why the tax docket is saying that. Everybody is settling for less. Why are so many people scared to reach their highest potential?
Okay, ma'am. Listen, nobody's disagreeing with what you're saying. If you can elevate, if you want to elevate, you can. Now, will you reach that? Statistics say otherwise. People's living say otherwise. Nobody sat here and said you can't reach it. What I'm saying is she's an exception. No matter how you cut it, dice it, and slice it. Most people aren't making that much. And let's be realistic. Most people won't make that much. Not saying that you can't do it. If you make a decision to do it, inevitably, you will eventually reach your goal. But it's not being done readily. It's not something you see on a regular basis, is what I'm saying. And the problem was she couldn't, and despite of the facts in her face, she still couldn't admit that her situation was exceptional. And that's the problem. And that's why it's so frustrating, because if you say that these are the facts, and you say, well, no, that's not the facts. but they're in your face. The data has been collected. It's proof, and you still deny it. That's the problem. Nobody's saying that you can't reach it. That's you're shadowboxing right now because nobody's disagreeing with you. You're like you're punching the air. I agree with you, and I think everybody will. You can achieve anything you please. But what we're saying is, don't say to anybody, "Oh well, you don't have to settle. You can get a man that's making this. You can get a man that's doing that. You can do that." But most people don't have ambitions to do that. Most people aren't trying to do that. Because if that were the case, it wouldn't be the 1% that make $500,000 a year. You can say and do and talk about manifesting, but unless you actually put it on and actually reach that place, but then even still before that, most people don't have ambitions to do that. Especially it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like she just wasn't being realistic. And it's like, you're not even being fair when you say that, oh, I can reach this goal, I can reach that goal. But then it's like, well, you know, not everybody's going to do that. And it's just it's just like, come on now. It's like, I just feel like that this is so like,
I don't think she's saying when it say selling for less. That means you basically, I'm gonna use this as prime example. When we say settle for less, you saying why do men don't want women with kids? Okay, the way y'all put it and the negative part of it, that's selling for less for some men because they don't want the headache. And that's the same thing as a woman. We should not settle for less because we should reach our goals. We should not settle for less and expect disrespect and, abuse. So settling for less is not about money. It's about respect and mental. We can't accept everything. Just like y'all got the right to settle for what y'all want. It's just what we want. Settling for less has nothing to do with money.
okay,
I promise you.
okay, but
it's not about money.
Okay, but I hear you. But what she didn't specify, she didn't say, "Oh, settling for less, respect." No, she didn't specify on anything. She specifically said you should, especially the other girl that I had to kick off because she couldn't, she was getting a lot of control. She didn't say, "Oh, settle for." You shouldn't have to settle for less for anything. So that coupled with the next girl who says, "Oh, I made $800,000 collectively with my husband," and the topic was on people who have kids and why women don't want to settle, why men don't want to settle for people with kids. It turned into something else. She didn't even have kids. So I don't really think she was really qualified to speak on the topic. She came in as giving women value with their education and the money that they make. So that would couples settle for less. Do you understand how that can send the wrong message to somebody saying, oh, well, especially when I was talking about a woman that was unemployed and had a man that was willing to take care of her, not trying to mooch or leech her for nothing, and said, I don't want a family because we don't go on enough dates. And she has a young child and she's struggling to take care of herself. These were some of the examples. That was my intent behind it, where women are in messed up situations and then talking about, I'm not going to settle for less. When it's a detriment to their self.
Do y'all men realize for every woman that's out here that y'all talking about got kids, it's an absent father. So what a lot of women are saying, yeah, okay, y'all got the right to make a choice if y'all choose, but it takes two to make a baby. It's not all on a woman's. It's accountability on 50-50. It takes two to make a baby.
Well, what does that? All right, what does that have to do?
Make sense.
But what does that have to do with the topic at hand and settling? And
the topic at hand is what you said.
How do you correlate that?
Okay, let's go back to what you said. Settling for less. It didn't have nothing to do about money. And I told you in the beginning, why men don't want women with kids, that's your choice. And I respect that.
Okay.
But at the same time, your choices and your feelings, like y'all say, women in their feelings. I think a lot of men on the panel and stuff are just typing. They going off a bad situation they had with a woman, and you got to take your feelings out of situation.
Yeah, but
so sometimes you got to remove yourself, and if we take our feelings out the situation, we can see the bigger picture.
Okay, but
agree to disagree.
No, but like, see, that's the thing. You're getting off topic. Well, first of all, we were just talking about settling and
values, yeah.
No, well, hold on. We were talking about settling and making a different amount of money and inflating a woman's value based off her education and money, right? But even still, that's not even bad situations. Logic tells you if I go date a woman with kids, right? And I'm not saying this is all, because I already said I've dated women with kids. I've done, and I don't have a problem with that. And I've had serious relationships that I considered marriage with. But what I'm telling you is, logic says if that woman's not so readily available, I have to share her. right? After she can't give me 100% of herself off the rip. So that has nothing to do with feelings. Exactly. And I could have never dated a woman with kids and say, well, damn, she's fine, she fire. I think the kid is a respectful kid, but you know, even if a guy says, I'm a jealous person, or I just want to spend time, I just want to sleep with her, but she can't automatically. Versus another girl I'm talking to and says, well, exactly, she's always free. Automatically off the rip, without bad experience, without anecdotal experience, without putting emotions into it, I can conclude based off logic, I won't get 100% of her. That's not even taking into account that, oh, if the father's going to be okay with me spending the night with the kid there, and rightfully so, that's a real concern that people can have a problem with, right? Is she going to give me dominion? If we talk about getting the family, can I discipline that kid? Will she trust me to be around her with the kid? Or, you know, there's a lot of different issues that come up without even talking about personal or past experiences.
You know, we'll talk about that out loud with his brothers, somebody he can really talk to. These are real topics. You might not say it to the woman, but these are genuinely real topics and concerns when you talking to a woman that have kids, and especially if the kids are, you know, and let's just say I'm trying to use the correct term, not the most best, well maintained or well mannered. You know, those are issues. I dated a female back in the day. Man, we kicked it off. Everything was great. And I was asking, what the hell is wrong with this woman? Why is she single? I met her kids and I knew why. Immediately I knew why. Especially that little boy. I like, that little fucker needs. Whoa. I'm like, where's your dad?
Let's try to be easy with the language. I don't want to get the live band. So.
Flashbacks on that one. I was like, man, how did
Loving them
I was like, I see why your mama's single, and she gonna be single till you turn 18, buddy. And like, ain't no man in his right mind that want to take her serious is going to tolerate that. And a lot of women can't see their kids like that until it's on their doorstep, until somebody pointed out to them. So these are real points and factors that any decent man is going to notice and going to think twice on, versus a woman that don't have kids or her kids are grown. You know, it's like, yeah, you're going to get treated like a second-class citizen. You might not like what I'm saying, but this is what happens behind closed doors. I can't tell you how many brothers that we talk about this behind closed doors. Like, man, I really want to take her serious, but man, I can't. I just can't, you know? So you might not like it, but it is what it is. Hey, I don't make the rules. I just try to play by them. And every time you step out from those rules, 9 times out of 10, you'll get screwed in some kind of way. Because if you, let's just say you do kick it off, you know, everything's great. And then, like I said, you know, it starts off great, everything, you develop a relationship with the kids and stuff, you know, 5 years go by, maybe even 10 years go by. And now you got a relationship with the kids and stuff, but you have no say-so over that child. Even though you helped raise it out for 10 years and put your money and your hard-earned, your time and all this stuff in it, you lose out on that. Most real men look for a legacy, all right? And look for a woman that he could have that legacy with. And stepping in a relationship with a woman that has somebody else, man, and you take on that, you take that challenge on to raise another man, which is a big ass horse pill to swallow, you know, to do that.
Can I just come in?
Go ahead.
Can I come? Okay.
Go ahead.
With regards to, hi, I'm Roxy, all the way from South Africa. I know exactly what you're talking about, right? It can be vice versa as well. But the fact that you brought out, when you say the man has got no say over the woman's children, right? I'm a married woman. I was exactly the same as these ladies, right? It's just I never had any children, right? And I was like, I'm never gonna date a man with kids. You know, all that baby mama drama. I don't have time for that. And then I found myself in a situation where I'm dating a divorcee with children, not a child, with children, from multiple other women. Right. And you think to yourself,
How are you going to handle this situation? Roxy, what are you going to do? Roxy, what is your family going to say? Roxy, Roxy, Roxy. But this guy was treating me fabulous. He was treating me fabulous. I'm not going to lie. Take note. This guy proposed to me. Still never had any children. I'm married today. You can see I'm Mrs. Bennett. I'm married today. But you not having say over somebody else's child is difficult. It's extremely difficult. His children don't live with us, right? They were their mommies. But when they do visit, you know, the way you would raise your child and the way somebody else raises their children is totally different. And yes, in as much as the mother is going to say, okay, you know what? You, the other mother, when I'm not around, right? Because we've got that understanding, right? We've reached that level of understanding. It is still difficult. You and the mother can be co-parenting with the biological father, right? But then the child turns around and looks at you and says to you, you know what? Actually, I don't really need to listen to you.
Yeah, and it's even worse where you have situations where the mother, the first mother, the actual biological mother may advocate for you ain't got to listen to her. Don't let her tell you what to do. Now, you're not in America, but I know a lot of situations like that where even sometimes the mother can be a little vindictive, may not necessarily be over the father, may not like their situation and be like, oh, make sure she don't tell you what to do, make sure don't push your hands on you, and just being real belligerent about it. So inherently, the kid's going to have a lot of disrespect for that mom. So not even talking about situations where there's cooperation, but situations where the mom or the dad has something against them and they're looking for an excuse or an inkling of a reason to start some type of drama. That makes it really hard, you know? So
100%. 100%. I know what I'm talking about, right? I've never been a single parent, right? I'm married to a man that has got children from multiple women. He's a divorcee, etc., etc. And because of our level of maturity, right? I decided, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna get married to this guy. But your business is your business. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. That was at the beginning, right? I didn't want to get involved in all the baby mama drama. And I told him straight up, you know what? It's your children. You deal with them. If there's anything that you need to do, you do it. Don't involve me, right? Point number one, his ex-wife. She's crazy as F. She's crazy. Oh, Lord.
That's why she's the ex.
That's why she's the ex. And you know what? She even brainwashed these children into thinking that, oh no, daddy's going to come back home. Those children are grown adults. Those children are grown adults. They made as if I broke up their marriage. I met this dude like 3 years after their divorce.
Yeah.
But yet I was being made to be the bad one, right? And then there's another child, which this is the one where I get along with his mother. At the beginning, she was also, but you know what? I don't really need to deal with her. I only need to deal with the baby daddy, blah, 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 blah. I never got involved, right? Because I felt, I don't know this woman. She don't know me. I'm still going to show her that little bit of respect. You get what I'm saying? She didn't do anything to me. She didn't say anything to me. So I can relate to the topic, right? If you are not prepared mentally, emotionally to be with somebody that has got a child, it's not going to work.
You have to compromise.
You have to compromise, whether it's for the woman or whether it's for the man.
Tell it to
That
the
level of
Americans.
maturity has to be there. It has to be there. But I'm telling you, co-parenting is the most difficult thing ever. It's not easy. It is not easy. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I've got 4 stepchildren, and then I've got my 2 children from my husband, right? We're gonna be married 8 years this year. It's the most tiring thing ever. And I see what my husband is going through. Remember, I am looking at his situation from the outside. And I know exactly what he's going through with his baby mamas. I know what he's going through. It's not nice. I feel it for you. I really do. But honestly, I just need to be there to be able to support my husband emotionally, because that is the job of a woman. We're supposed to support our husbands emotionally. It's got nothing to do with finances and education and blah, blah, blah. No, women are there to nurture.
Thank you. A lot of women, a lot of modern women don't understand it and can't comprehend that. It's like it's beyond them. You're speaking a foreign language. And like I said, I have dated women and my ex, you know, let's just say she got a white coat and she's well in the six. And that means nothing to me. I met you when you had nothing. And like I said, that, you know, that's an old man once told me, and I didn't get it when I was younger. He said, would you rather be up to your ankles in feces or up to your neck in feces? But regardless, you go be in feces. And I never really got it when he told me that. He said, choose your woman wisely. Most women are materialistic. The reason why a lot of guys go out and buy fancy stuff and cars and stuff. I got brothers and cousins. Oh my goodness. The stuff I have seen, you can't unsee. And women flock to it like feet. Yeah, they flock to it like crazy. But it's every now and then you find a couple diamonds, you know, that truly don't care and truly believe in taking care of home, which is extremely rare nowadays. And it's sad. It's really sad, and it's really toxic in the North American women. And when I started traveling, I noticed a difference. You know, I was the one that was kind of stayed in the same neighborhood, if you want to go in that direction. And then once I started traveling, I started noticing the women mentality, and I was like blown away. I was told about this, I heard about it, but never actually seen it. And when I seen it, I was like, what the hell have I been, what catalog I've been shopping in? You know, it's just really bad, guys. When I say it's bad, when I say you need to travel, it's not a joke. It's like you've been sheltered. And you don't have to tolerate a lot of that nonsense that these women are throwing at you. And women easily outnumber men. And it's not funny. It's really sad. And this social media and all this hype and all this, you got to go see it. Once you see it, there's no unseeing it no more. And nothing that woman can say or these women can say can make you see anything different. You just got to get out there and see it. Choose wisely. Choose your woman wisely. Take the time to get to know her. Don't fall for that okie dokie, because she will sound like a used car salesman. I'm not joking.
No, listen. The only reason that's funny, because they've been talking about the used cars analogy all night.
I'm not joking. I've had women start, spinning out. I'm like, hold on. She gotta realize I'm listening to you, and that sounds like BS. But okay, continue.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A few people got on here, and it was just like, I'm not. But you know what? I'm not in a position, and I'm not in the business of calling people a liar on their situation. Some people might be in that actual situation, no matter how much cap it sounds. Which is why I still try to be respectful. Right? Most people would have just been booted them, and I still want to give people a fair chance, because I feel like sometimes we may be feeling like people may be lying. And just because I know people personally, they talk and it just sounds like they're lying about everything. But then, like, when I actually see the situation, I'm like, oh no, that really happened. There go it right there. I'm like, okay, yeah, he just sounds like a liar. He's not actually lying. Some people are just not really good storytellers, So, I try to make exceptions and try to hear people out. But most of the time, when it sounds like a duck and it's quacking like a duck, most likely it's a duck. But that's not all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Choose wisely. Take time to get to know that woman.
If you heard this lady from South Africa speak, if you had her speak, the lady from South Africa, Mrs. I think Bennett,
Yeah.
right? You can tell there's a reason why the husband chose her over his exes.
Mhm.
She's logical in how she was reasoning. I hope the ladies in America, the ladies that have been saying a lot of things, can be able to listen to exactly what she was saying. Okay.
But you know
Because
that
the reason
issue,
why the husband
that issue is only. It's. I feel like it's
the reason
it's big in America and
the reason
countries
is
like
not
America.
because she studied a lot. No, it's not because she studied a lot or she has all her money. No. It's because she's actually a good woman. She does listen to her husband. She's supportive of her husband. You understand? And she's agreeable. She's
Cooperative. But listen, but look,
I hope you guys
and
understand.
I'll tell you this. I don't see the. I see that issue a lot with people that. I mean, me personally, I've dated all women, but I usually date like Black or Hispanic women. And the people that I see it with most are like strictly American women. People that come from the Caribbean or people that come from outside of the United States, or they have parents that come from the Caribbean, are like, you usually don't see that issue with them. They don't have that, like, they have a different mentality, especially like Hispanic women, whether it be like Afro Latina or not. Like, it's just usually different with the mindset, unless they like are straight Americanized and just talk crazy and don't believe in serving their men. Like,
I've been down that road. What you talking about? The mom was, South America, and the kid, the ex, completely Americanized, and the mom and the daughter constant classy, and the mom trying to tell you like, hey, you go lose them. You need to listen.
Exactly, and it's crazy. Like, a lot of the times, like if I came over for dinner and like I'm done with my food, like if the mom don't take, she'd be like, tell her to get his plate, or get it. Are you done? Take his plate. Or sometimes I don't even have to ask for it. So it's crazy, and then you see the differences in experience and like just the mindset, like serving your man and being there for your man, and like trying to fight me on independence and I got this and I got that. Like, that's not a thing. Like, that's not a thing with certain cultures, and I see the difference. And it's just like, it's the hard truth. In my experience, it's mostly like Black American women. Like with my ex, my last girlfriend. My ex, she was mixed. She was Dominican and Black, but she was raised by her mom, so she has that that mentality. And the girl I dated before her, when I went to dinner, they served me. She took my plate, we was chilling in the living room, gave me a foot massage. It was crazy. Like, and I seen another time I seen when her dad came home. As soon as he came home, he sat down. She came and took off his shoes. You hungry? It was crazy. Then with my ex, I got invited over for Thanksgiving, and we're eating Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just like, she was like, "Oh, you could go put your dishes in the sink. Okay, you could wash your dish too." I was just like, wow, that's a different experience, because it was like, you wash your own dishes. I was like, damn, well, okay. Like, I wasn't really feeling it, but it's just a different in culture, and it's just this masculine. And obviously, she was a single mom too. And I think the thing with single moms is they kind of forced into a masculine position because they got to do for their own. They gotta fend for themselves. They don't have a man to help them, so they're kind of put in a position where they have to be masculine, because they have to take on these masculine roles that I don't think is inherent for women, right?
But it hurts them in the long run, though, when they're looking for something serious.
Exactly, because their relationship muscle, it's ruined. Their relationship muscle is ruined because they've been masculine for so long, because they had to do so much on their own for so long. So then it's like, when you get a man, it's like, oh, I don't need a man. That mindset will mess you up, and it does.
It will destroy it. I'm reading this one chick. I have kids, and I refuse to date a man that have a baby mama. But you are a baby mama. Make it make sense. Yeah. Like, do you good yourself? Like, this is the stuff I try to avoid, because, man, you will get a migraine. It's like the elevator don't go all the way up. And it doesn't matter on the education, because you can have PhDs and masters, and oh my goodness.
Why do y'all push that it doesn't matter on education?
Say that again.
It doesn't.
Wait, say that. What'd you say? What was you saying? What was the question?
Hi, y'all. Hi, my name is Keisha. No, I just heard him keep on saying, I think he said it earlier, that it didn't matter about education or anything. I'm just curious
Well,
why y'all feel like it doesn't with the
well,
Because at the end,
I'll let you speak. Go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
I was gonna say, at the end of the day, that benefits you more than it benefits me. And that, you know, like
That's
yes,
our problem, though. Y'all don't think that education benefit Black men?
because if you ever sit down, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure if you have, I don't know your situation, but I even did this with my kids. I said, you know, I had them for a week, and I told them, come with me. I said, give me your cell phone, sit down. I want you to shut up, listen, and learn. And this was before they changed the rules in the court system.
We're gonna stop doing queen, stop having sex.
So, said what?
No, I was reading the
All right,
comment.
let him speak. Let him speak. Let's get some
I
order.
took my kids to the court and stuff, and I wanted them to sit down and listen and watch how the system works and everything. And a long story short is, once we got done, we spent about 2 or 3 hours there, and we came back and they were like, Dad, I didn't know it was that bad. I said, yeah, it is. I said 9 times out of 10, the woman comes up and the man goes down every single time.
Oh, you talking about court, Gray?
Yes, court.
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
So 9 times out of 10, the man steps down and the woman comes up. So another reason why you need to choose your woman carefully, son. And he's seen it with his own 2 eyes. You know, they did. And even one of them even encouraged to be a lawyer. I'm like,
So you got your kids now, Gray? Your kids live with you?
Said what?
Your kids live with you. That was the point of the story? I'm sorry. Your kids live with you now?
My 2 of my kids, they already grown, doing their own thing. I'm just sitting back watching entertainment. But this was before they became grown.
But the point was the education, though. You said you asked about education and why isn't it a bargaining chip?
Why doesn't it matter for Black men anymore?
No, but I think you mentioned it and you said it. We said it doesn't matter because it's not a bargaining chip. Hold on. Let's keep some order. It's not a bargaining chip, and that's more or less what women try to say, because the woman that came up earlier, the successful woman that fell into that 1% who was making collectively with her husband $800,000 a year, she was saying that it gave single mothers, because of statistics. Oh, hold on, let me finish. It gave singles mothers value by having an education and entrepreneurship. But what we're saying is that that's not a bargaining chip when it comes to a relationship for a man. And that's why we said the education doesn't matter in that context.
Well, for a certain demographic of men, but I do get what y'all saying, though.
But even still, you can get a young man. Let's say a young man, even if you say a young man, right, who doesn't have his shit together, right? You say a young man who's maybe 20, 19, 18, maybe even 21. Most young men at that age don't really have their stuff together. And a girl says, oh, I got an education, I got this and that and the third, versus a mother who's single, this and that and the third. It doesn't matter either way, because at that age, most men aren't serious. You have your education. Even if he does take her serious, I'm pretty sure he could take another girl serious who doesn't have an education. And most people at that age don't have education. And I think for most ages, especially when a man gets older in his 30s, when he's making money, he's ready to settle down. It's like, okay,
Black men are hypergamous when they get older.
I don't think hypergamy really applies.
They always get nurses, right? They always get some type of girl with some type of uniform.
I think there's just a lot of RNs. I don't think most men.
You're gonna have to make some real effort, just like how she expects him to make effort. One-way road, all right? It's a 2-way street, and on top of that, she has. Nobody never said anything. How old are these kids? Because if they were legal age, hell, they can watch their damn selves.
These are full-grown adults, and the thing is, and I guess, and I guess that's why she's not seeing it. Is you expect it to be one-sided. You're talking about somebody who's paying for dates, somebody who's doing his role. He's already making the effort. He's already willing to take on. He's already willing to take on her and her kid. He's putting the effort.
The bare minimum is already taking care of yourself.
You already said 50-50 is a no-go, so that's the bare minimum.
No, listen, that's not the bare minimum. That's a philosophy which I subscribe to. That doesn't mean all men are doing it. Most men can't do it, and most men are not doing it. That's not the bare minimum. It's not. But this is an exceptional man that's willing to do it. So when you find above the bare minimum and you're not willing to take it, I think there's a flaw in logic, and I think it's a very bad decision. And I think that every woman on this panel, except for the one who had to kick off because she just couldn't deny, it's just a very strong indicator that women and their logic is just flawed. And this is why that if you should have like a confidant as a man, because I know not everybody has their father, but it just decisions made with emotion and a lack of logic. It's almost like a flawed decision. You're rejecting a man and then saying, yeah, you should still chase me when he's already doing his duties. He's already showing he's capable. What are you doing in this situation is the question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought that maybe because he wanted to marry her, he was doing something. I just don't understand why a man would want to give money and pay for dates for a woman he doesn't think is valuable or worth it.
But do you not think a more of an honor is saying, let's start a family, let's move in together, let's take a serious relationship so we can work towards marriage? Do you not think that's more of an honor than let me pay for more dates?
Absolutely.
I don't think that that's the point I was making. The point I was making was it's you are hoping that once you are married to this person, they are going to change certain ideals and you know, make an effort. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't think I explained that correctly.
Somebody listen, somebody who's unemployed, you don't have the fucking option to talk about let's go on more dates, especially when you ain't paying for nothing.
No, she definitely shouldn't be dating. She should be focused.
She shouldn't be dating.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But then when you find a golden ticket and you talking about, oh, I got option, I'm not do. Come on, that's outside of the conversation anymore. But that's out. Okay, listen.
It's like we're getting gold digger status. Am I wrong?
And I avoid those women like the black plague.
But this is not. We're not talking gold diggers.
Gold diggers, right?
We're not talking gold diggers, because if she was a gold digger, she would have snatched at the opportunity. That's the problem. She genuinely likes this person.
You're saying she should have gold digged. Am I wrong?
No.
Golden ticket. Am I wrong? Again, I'm not playing. I'm being so serious.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Because you already said that you didn't want to date a woman unless she showed you that she was what you wanted. But she should marry this man because he offered marriage. But he doesn't give her the satisfaction of dates and, you know, being the full provider because, you know, paying for those daycare service is part of providing for her. Like,
oh my! If it's just crazy. It's just crazy, and the problem is she's serious. So if you reject somebody and you say no to their offer of them taking care of you in your life, right?
Yeah.
Of them paying your rent and doing all these things.
If you dating, that's another story right there. It's just yeah, like I said, no, we ain't on that level if we dating. Like I was like, oh well, you know what? Take a rain check. It is what it is.
But see, look, that's the point. But that's the point. Women talk about good men. Good. That's an example of a good man, and that makes my point. Somebody who's willing to take on those responsibilities. No, I ain't been on enough dates. We don't go on enough dates because I'm too busy.
And
what are you doing?
What?
You said she doesn't have a job. You said she broke.
That was a scenario.
She not busy.
You were just giving a scenario, sweetheart.
If she's not busy, right? She has to watch her kid.
Right. So why is it wrong to say, oh well, why doesn't he get a babysitter? Like, what's wrong with saying that? If you really want to take her out,
how many men you know after you reject them, they're gonna go out their way and still pay for your babysitter? After you gave them a better deal, I doubt it. If you gave them a better deal, than just doing that, and you're trying to convenience this person and giving them a solution where you have a hard time, you're struggling, let me help you out even more. And you say, well, what's wrong with just paying for the babysitter and leaving you in your fucked up situation for you to struggle on government assistance?
Most men that have their acts together, and being rejected like that multiple times ain't gonna tolerate it. And if they do, I'm pretty sure they're gonna tolerate it just long enough to hit it one time and send you on down the road.
And it's crazy because clearly that guy is a fucking simp. But listen,
Got to be.
Because it's just trying to tell women that they don't understand. Because if I start saying, "Oh, he's a simp," they automatically shut down, close off. I ain't trying to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying,
yeah,
I can't. And you
those
can't
are
even.
the most dangerous ones too, man. They don't see it until it's too late.
But it just goes to show a messed up mindset.
And that's taking her serious, you know, like I said, and you doing that right there. Come on now, like I said, he ain't gonna tolerate that for long. He gonna eventually throw the deuces. Like, look, this is too much. This is way too much. You know, I wish you the best of luck, and that's it. I mean, just walk away from it.
And that goes to show the problem, because just about every woman on this panel, except for two, the woman from South Africa and the other woman who had the boot, who wanted to stick up for them so bad, even though she disagreed. It's the logic, and it's this big flaw in logic. And these are mostly American women.
Yep, I keep telling you that. You travel, you see something different, and you'll never be the same again.
There's a lot of women here that would appreciate you guys. Seriously.
Hey, she trying to get us a ticket out. She's like, y'all need to come out here for real. She trying to get us out the country.
I did not believe it. I was gullible. I was green. And to somebody turn me on the game, and I started seeing pictures, I started seeing videos, and then and next thing I know, I'm like
we are on another level here. We respect our men. We nurture our men. I'm not saying there aren't any of the women that have got children from multiple men and all that, and that are going through the same thing like the American women are. I'm not saying there aren't of that. There is, right? But majority of the women in SA or in Africa, right? Because I've been across already, and we're there to nurture. We are there to guide.
It's just less. And I agree with you. Like I said, that old man said, do you want to be up to your ankles or up to your neck? There's a difference. You might not want to acknowledge it, but there is a major effing difference. And it boggled my mind the first time I seen it and experienced it. I thought somebody was pulling a prank on me, because I'm so used to women having this North American negative vibe. Toxic is like incredibly stupid toxic. And you get numb to it. And then when you experience something different, you be like, okay, what's wrong with these women? Like, do they got bodies in their backyard or something? You know, they being extra nice. They doing all this sweet stuff. You know, you start thinking crazy, like, wow. And you can't believe that you've been exposed to this for so damn long. It's like a dog in the backyard, and everything he knows is in the backyard. And if he know anything, it's from looking through the hole. And then once the dog get out of the neighborhood, you realize that's a whole nother world that you weren't exposed to.
And you know what? And I'll be fair, to say that I've been fortunate enough to have really great experiences with women here in America. So I'm not gonna front and say that like, oh, we all got to leave the country. I'm well aware that it's a cultural thing, and that women are a lot different. And here you'll have women that are really selective with their femininity, right? They'll pick and choose who they want to be feminine and submissive with, meaning, oh, I'm just not going to submit to any guy. He got to bring it out of me. He got to be the right type of man. And fortunately, for a lot of women, I've been that kind of man. And then on top of that, I just think it's me. I have a really good filtering mechanism for filtering out the type of girls that I actually want. So my experience with American women have been really good. But I think for your average guy, their experience is not the same. And I think that, exploring other options, and America is just a wild place in general. There's a lot of benefits to it. It's a very fortunate place, but there's a lot of wild places. It's just a wild for a lot of things. And I think that it is something that men consider. If you're not willing to learn game, if you're not willing to, learn how to have a mouthpiece, and you're not willing to to learn how to get your way with certain things. If you don't want to have game, because some men equate having game and good tactics and techniques to make girls like, they consider that playing games, and some men don't want to do that. For those men, I would advise to leave the country. I would, but I wouldn't say it's for everybody. You know, I like to adapt, but I'm gonna end this off, guys, because you see, I put my running gear. I was supposed to bingo for a run, but this got a little crazy. This was a great conversation.
I'm about to do my 30-minute workout. So
all right,
I
well,
gotta be it.
thank you everybody for joining. Listen, and for everybody who felt like they were booted, I try to be fair. I try to let people speak. I feel like if you're being an a-hole about things, if you're coming on to have satire, if you're being disrespectful, I feel like, yes, you know, I cut people off, but it's my show. But I feel like I'm very fair and I let people speak, and I give people enough chances to speak. So we'll be back, and we could try again tomorrow, and we'll probably have a different topic. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. I'm out of here. I'll holla at you.
All right, no problem.
All right.
Good.